Hello, pre-notification gang.
My name is Giancarlo Esposito.
Doing all right. Had a big day today. Just filmed something big. Don't want to spoil it. Thanks to resub randomize. What happened in the NASA storage video? Just waiting on it. It'll go up soon, hopefully. Happy birthday, Nino. Thanks to resub glitched crow. Thanks to resub daddy ducky. Thanks to resub widths. It's coming along, Rip. My favorite RuneScape streamer. I was doing a little grinding today, finishing some tree runs. Trying to remember where all the trees were. Tomorrow I'm going to do more grinding on main because I don't know if the boys will be around for group, so I'll probably just do some main grinding. That'll be like an early stream. There's Prime, Cough Drop, Attic, Astro, and Tier 1 Chimera. Podcast will be up tomorrow. Thanks to resub Charlie the Kim. And the resub Sky. Yeah, so I'm pretty sure I've seen that one Sky. Thanks to Prime Big Smoke. Have you ever watched the show You? Yep, Tiana watches it. So I've seen it. Like a couple episodes. Thanks to resub Memento Mori, Pleber, and Stabless Soup. And thanks, Zach. And the resub No Macaroni. And the resub Starfire. The resub Blaze Killer. I know the Darkest Band in history. We've already seen that one. Or, no, we couldn't watch that one on stream. Thanks to Prime Gucci. And the resub Chan Revo. I'll probably just watch that on my own, enjoy. Thanks to Tier 1 TCB and the resub Coker. Glad to hear it, Bamurai. Glad you're having fun. Yeah, we can watch some Dartman tonight. Thanks to Bits Monkey and the gift sub Macho. Thanks to the gift sub Slime and the resub Newen in Tier 1 Brea Norris. And the resub Casually Bella. Podcast will be up tomorrow. Danny was just busy this week, so he wasn't able to edit it, but it'll be ready tomorrow. Thanks to Tier 1 Matt, and the Prime Why Am I Here, and resub Franklin Roosevelt and Imcat Magic. Thanks to Tier 1 Shrimpu, Disney's Darkest Secret. Disney's Darkest Secret. Oh. I actually heard about this. It's actually a real fucked story, right? It was like a lot of rampant animal abuse on some of their like live action animal films, right? Thanks to Tier 1 Kai Kai and the Prime Vrivru and the Bits Pan Mushkin. He's the Prime Rexard and the resub Lightning Angel. And the Prime TM Coates. Slap Mountain tonight? Yeah, I think there's a new Slap Mountain, right? It went up. Yeah, thought so. So yeah, we'll do that later. No rush. Thanks to Tier 1 Tony Lopez and the resub Grudsky, Chuma, and Reed. And the bits, you're a punk. Thanks, man. Thanks to resub Danny the Popsicle. And the resub Javits and Big DV. Thanks to resub Jax. And the Tier 1 Felipe. Yep, I heard about the Zodiac Killer identity being revealed. It's still contested, though. It's not like 100% confirmed. It's still contested. I'm going to do some RuneScape tomorrow. I was just late tonight, so I just feel like hopping on, watching some shit. Is there a way to 100% confirm it anyway? Like a time machine? That's about it. Thanks to resub Goldie. Link to the bits, Ivan. You ever considered VR content? Yeah, I actually made a VR video like a week ago. Just haven't posted it yet. Oh, wow. Thank you for the 11,000 bits Forsaken Dookie. Thank you for the huge fucking bit drop, man. That was sweet. Thank you. And thanks for the bits, Ivan, and gift sub Jackalope. Jesus Christ. Thank you. Thanks to the resub Dime. The Zodiac Killer wouldn't have done it if he watched a few Darman videos. I think he would have learned a valuable lesson, yeah. There probably wouldn't have been a Zodiac Killer if Darman had just started making videos earlier. He's a tier 1 ghoul. And the 5 gift subs Jabbits. Thank you, Jabbits. And thanks to the resub Tomato. And the bits Sheepy. Hope everything's alright. Thanks to the resub Trey. The way you worded that makes me concerned, Sheepy. Don't be afraid to get help. You gonna play the new Demon Slayer game? Yeah, don't tell me that's out though. Hopefully not. There's so many games out right now. Thanks to the bits value. Whew. Thanks to the resub. Fat injections and bits boy. Yeah, I'm doing alright. Hope you're doing well, Dombaclat. We already watched All Up to Catch a Predator. We've already watched All Up to Catch a Predator. There's nothing new. Thanks to the resub Miles and Blaze. Nick Gage, the king of deathmatch. No, I don't think so. We watched Slaptam last time. I don't know if we'll do the creepy top 5 goblin sightings again, but maybe. We'll see. Thanks for resub Camel and Forsaken Dookie. The bits TCB and resub John Parr. The most brutal game ever played? Isn't that the one with the soccer goalkeeper that gets killed? Oh no, I guess it's a football game. Thanks, give some chance. Thanks to the bits again, Trey. I'll watch that on my own time, Carton. I usually don't like to watch stuff like that on stream. But I bet it'd be very cute. I saw the guy who makes the really cool animations. Like the Miss Input one. Is it the same guy? There's the Bits Trace and Jabbits. And the Bits again, Jabbits. Marvin Haymeyer, Killdozer. I've seen everything about Killdozer. Killdozer is such an incredible thing that happened. Thanks a gift sub, Cutie Pyra, and Tier 1 in FFC Walker, and Prime Apple Freak. Oh, thank you for the fuck, Jesus Christ! Thank you for the fat 20 gift subs, Forsaken Dookie. Thank you for the generosity tonight, man. Thank you. Well, I hope you've had a great day. Thanks to Tier 1 Macho. You give some chance. Have you seen Theory of Mort? No. Is that a Rick and Morty thing? Mort Theory, The Crimes of Mort. This is 2 hours and 30 minutes, man. Is it? Oh, it's one of these. Oh. This is the guy that just makes all the Madagascar silly theories. I remember this channel. Thanks for your sub, Edmore and Tier 1 Kuzin. Thanks again, Chance. Thanks to the Prime. Joshua and gives a plug. Yeah, the Disney's Darkest Secret isn't exactly a fun one to watch though, man. It's just animal abuse. Like it's awful. I don't know the whole story. Maybe it's not awful.
Disney is known to try their best to uphold a very lighthearted and child-friendly public image.
And they've done a great job at doing that.
Disturbing stories from their past, and the two we'll be discussing today involve animal abuse.
Thought so.
If you were a late 90s kid, the Air Bud films were likely a staple of your VHS collection. Right. And as the 2000s
and MVP
around,
Most Valuable
Primate
went
in a puppy-centric direction as it morphed into Air Buddies. The series is beloved for the typical family-friendly fun one can expect from movies of this caliber. What wasn't expected, however, is how dark some of the consequences were for producing its various installments with such young animals. In particular, the majority of these issues arose during the filming of Snow Buddies, set in the ice-cold climate of Alaska, which will be the focus of our discussion today. This story begins in the lower mainland of Vancouver, British Columbia, where the straight-to-video release was being filmed. As protocol with any production involving animals, the film crew were visited by a representative of the American Humane Association on the first day of shooting. This organization is responsible for the "no animals were harmed in the making of this film" disclaimer seen at the end of
So it seems like they're not very good.
There was already some conflict over the dogs chosen to be cast, though. The AHA recommended the producers only import puppies older than 14 weeks of age, as health complications can often arise when they are separated from their mothers too young. And this is where the problems began to arise, as all 15 of the puppies on set were aged approximately 8 weeks, meaning that they'd been transported at only a month and a half of age. This not only appeared to be illegal, but extremely dangerous for the animal.
Yeah, this is just gonna be sad, man. This is gonna be really fucking sad. That's like the most Disney shit ever. Thanks to give sub Ford brought in Tier 1 Alphabet. I know what Neighborhood Wars is. We've seen some of it. It's alright. It's not great, but it's okay sometimes. Thanks to sub Hunter. And another fucking fat 20 drop, Forsaken. Good lord. Thank you, Forsaken. Appreciate the generosity. And there's some Mumbo. Oh yeah. Implement just uploaded something new. He was saying this was the biggest video he's ever made. Oh man, it's an hour long? All about Talladega? I don't know, it might be a bit long for stream. I know he's a big NASCAR guy. He always has been. There said Droopy Pickle. The most disturbing painting. This is the most disturbing painting. There said Jack-Salotl. Someone's just eating chips in a cave.
What's the scariest painting in art history?
This is...
There are some strong contenders,
pretty
like
deep.
The Judgment of Cambyses by Gerard David, Hieronymus Bosch's rendering of Hell.
Wait, whoa, what? This was a rendering of Hell? Where was it? This is Hell. In Hell, they make you play a recorder from your butthole? Wow, I mean, hey, maybe Hell's not that bad.
Rendering of Hell, Henry Fuseli's Nightmare, and Edvard Munch's The Scream. But there's only ever really been one painting that has seriously disturbed me.
No, I didn't know that, Narito.
This one. Francisco Goya's Saturn devouring his son. What you're seeing here is the legendary Spanish painter's depiction of the Greek titan Cronus, who after usurping power from his father was told a prophecy that one of his own sons would do the same and usurp him. In order to prevent this, every time his queen Rhea bore a child, Cronus would eat it. Unfortunately for him, in the end, Rhea conspired to hide away their youngest son, Zeus, who eventually fulfilled the prophecy, exiled his father, and ended the reign of the Titans.
Nice.
The story is a well-known Greek myth, but look at how Goya handles it. Some key changes jump out right away. First, in the myth, Cronus devours
it doesn't really
his
look like a
children
person.
by swallowing them whole. In fact, they remain alive in his
Looks
stomach.
more like meat.
Goya's painting
in
is
RuneScape,
a much
like
more
raw meat.
gruesome affair. He takes some inspiration here from Peter Paul Rubens, a Flemish Baroque painter who depicted the same event as well. In Rubens' Saturn, the Titan seems to be sucking the life force from his child. Even for such a terrifying subject matter, Rubens displays all the drama, richness, even beauty that marks the Baroque style he helped to make famous. In Goya's version, that beauty is gone. We're left with a frightened,
it looks pretty goofy
monster discovered in the dark as if by some explorer with a torch who wandered into the wrong cave. Saturn, Cronus' Roman name, has already chewed off the head of his child. His black mouth opens around the elbow of the left arm, ready to bite it off at the joint. His angular body is crouching in an awkward position. His hands dig into the spine. Blood runs down his child's arm and neck and shoulder, a startling primary color. And if we take a closer look, we notice that this is not a child at all, but one of Saturn's kids grown up. There's something even more terrifying in knowing that the victim knew what was happening and tried to fight back. But what's most disturbing of all, I think, is when and where this painting was found. Late in his life, Francisco Goya purchased a house on the outskirts of Madrid called the Quinta del Sordo, or the Villa of the Deaf, after its previous owner. An interesting coincidence, since by that time in his life, Goya was deaf too. His physical and mental health declining, Goya painted 14 murals, often referred to as the Black Paintings, directly onto the interior walls of his home. Saturn devouring his son was in the dining room. The photographs you're seeing now were taken over 50 years after that time. Goya never mentioned the paintings himself. He never intended for anyone to see them. To this day, people
they don't look very
puzzle
high
over the
quality.
meaning of the Black Paintings. Why was Goya creating these pessimistic and fantastical scenes in the solitude of his home? To understand this, it might help to go back through Goya's career. He grew up in Zaragoza, Spain, the fourth of 6 children in a lower middle-class family. By all accounts, he was a light-hearted and joyful kid as he studied painting in Zaragoza, Madrid, and Rome. His first serious job was at the Royal Tapestry Factory, where he created tapestry cartoons to adorn the palaces and stately homes of the city. These tapestries take their cue from the Rococo style, elegant, playful.
This isn't that interesting. It's not that scary. If it was like a really terrifying painting, like fucking James Corden eating the head off of a kid or something like that, okay, then I could see it. But I mean, that's not doing it for me. Holy fuck, Forsaken! Thank you for another 20 gift subs, man. And the resub Evan, thank you, Forsaken. And Prime Sintra, you've been super generous tonight. God damn. Next we gift sub Nick Senpai. When was the last time you watched Redline? I actually watched it on stream. What? 2 years ago? They had the whole movie on YouTube for free. YouTube Movies uploaded it. CoffeeZilla new video. Oh, that's like a 6-part video. I actually know all about that. Mudahar was asking if my HMG's lawyers would be willing to defend them if they decide to go through with their case. Or if, excuse me, that's phrased incorrectly. If they try and come after them. Yeah, let's check it out.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the $10 million studio. Let me say up top, this investigation
He's tier
will
1 Red
contain
Pac-Man.
potential money laundering, unregulated offshore gambling, and worst of all, influencers.
This is $1 million video. I just realized I spent $600,000 on watches. I lost $200,000 to 6ix9ine, $60,000 in private planes, $20,000 on hotels in Mexico, $100,000 on Rolex and cars. Yo, it feels good to be a winner.
This is the first in a 6-part series in collaboration with Some Ordinary Gamers.
I know both of those,
exposing the
Wojtek.
secret world of unregulated offshore crypto gambling and how influencers have become filthy rich by being the gasoline on the fire, promoting it around the world and making it into the billion-dollar phenomenon it is globally. Now, I'll be honest, when I first started looking at this, I had no idea about any of that. The reason I'm actually here starts off the way all great stories start, with Twitter beef.
Let's go!
Right, here's how this went down. I had been hearing for a while
Gecko.
about how online unregulated crypto casinos were hiring some of the biggest influencers in the world to promote them and then would pay them for every fan they got to sign up. And not only that, every time their fans would lose money to the casino, the influencer would make a cut
That's crazy.
on those losses.
That's
now,
fucking
insane,
crazy.
and I said, enough's enough. It's time to act. So
There's no way.
Well, just found out that the top gambling streamers are getting paid a percentage of their signups losses. So not only are streamers getting paid,
holy shit, that's insane.
Fans, they're literally incentivized for their fans to lose as much as possible. How do these people sleep at night? Now, normally I expect my tweets to go into the great void of Jack's armpit, but this time I guess one of those gambling streamers actually saw it and he responded. Steve will do it. Now, I can't imagine why he felt singled out.
I saw that tweet. I saw that tweet.
Off that I would accuse him of profiting.
The dude's
off
super
the
dumb.
of
Like,
fans.
he's super dumb.
Me, hey, you broke moron. Do your research. Roobet's affiliate program has nothing to do with losing. It's about the bet. Roobet is different than other gambling websites. Do your research, you broke moron, before you post like this publicly. Given his thoughtful response, I thought, hey, maybe I made a mistake. So I went back and checked Roobet's affiliate terms. And it turns out he's right. Roobet doesn't give influencers a percentage of their fans' losses.
Oh,
Roobet gives
I was gonna say, that's
a
crazy.
percentage of the mathematical odds of their fans losing. This is straight from Roobet's page. Affiliates receive a commission
holy shit.
of 5% of the mathematical house edge on all their referrals wagers, with that percentage increasing as the referrer climbs the tiers. And if you're thinking right now, wow, that sounds like basically exactly the same thing, it is the exact same thing.
I
just with a
can't
little
fucking believe
distancing. It's kind of clever, actually, because now, instead of being directly tied to their fans'
That's
losses,
so much
they can
money.
plead innocent. They're still profiting from their fans, but, you know, in that indirect economic percentage sort of way. It's kind of like saying, no, I didn't bomb those Syrian kids. I just sent the drone that did. It's the exact same thing. It just sounds a little bit better. But anyways, we fired back and forth a few times. He eventually deleted his responses, but something he said always stuck with me. And no, it wasn't the part about him sleeping very well at night, living in a penthouse, knowing that I change people's lives every day and I'm rich. It wasn't even...
What a douchebag. Holy shit.
It was actually this. Do your research. Which is why this series now exists. And Steve will do it legally, can't be mad about it because technically he's the one who asked for this. So, yeah, Steve, this one's for you. Now, I want to be clear.
Hey, amen, Steve.
A small sense of
Let's go.
is not why I'm telling you this story today.
Easy tier
ones.
ones.
A small reason.
Scott,
okay?
Christopher, and resub victory power.
It would have never carried me through this investigation, which had so many dead ends. What actually hooked me and kept me going on this investigation was a single question: how is this video possible? It shouldn't exist. To explain what I mean, let's go to the board, because I got to explain a little more about Steve Will Do It for a little
Easy tier 1 king in the prime food
is a
stamp.
member of Nelk, an insanely popular YouTube channel known for their pranks, like trying to use Monopoly money at a casino. Kind of weird foreshadowing, to be honest. But they generally make fun, popular videos with a lot of money being thrown around. Cars being gifted, partying, that kind of thing. But the money I was seeing thrown around, specifically in
tier 1 Harry Butts.
Do Its videos, was
Links to the
too
bits.
much. It didn't make any sense. Like every video, it was private jets, buying exotic cars, giving away hundreds of thousands of dollars. And going off my experience with YouTube, I knew something was off. Remember that video I mentioned, the $1 million one? It only had 4.3 million views. And in that video, he really does spend $1 million.
This is $1 million video, I just realized.
By contrast, the only other YouTuber in the world...
What are his tattoos on his hand? Was that a... Is that a can of purple Flurp? Is this guy like a big Jimmy Neutron fan or something? Each one of the... No, what is that? PBR? A PBR can? An ocarina or a water jug or something? What the fuck is this? This dude, he must have lost a bet or something on the channel. This shit is trash. And then the ball from Rugrats surrounded by a crosshair, like a hollow sight. It is PBR? Okay, thought so.
Only other YouTuber in the world I know of that can afford that kind of spending is Mr. Beast, who regularly gets 50+ million views on a video, and there's always a sponsor on his videos to recoup some of that cost. But here's the weird thing. On Steve's video, with 10 times fewer views, there's no sponsor. And that's how so many of his videos are. He's throwing around money like Mr. Beast, but he has a fraction of the views, and he's not sponsored. So it begs the question, where's this massive cash flow coming from? Is Steve Will Do It the son of a Saudi prince? Like, this dude seems to have endless amounts of cash, oil baron amounts of cash. And at first, I thought, okay, wait a second, Happy Dad, their new alcohol company, right? It can't be that, because this spending predates that. Well, maybe it's merch then. That's the Nelk Boys thing, right? They pull in $70 million a year selling their merch. Maybe selling hats is how Steve affords to live like the son of a president. And I would have thought that, but right as I was about to give up, someone gave me a helping hand on a drunken live stream. Let's bring down the board here.
I have figured out other ways to make money. So I'm not big because I feel like a baller right now. I don't take private planes. I don't buy $300,000 watch.
He's so humble.
I don't buy whatever. But today I just bought a $200,000 Sprinter.
Oh, okay.
I don't do that from selling t-shirts, dude. It's actually impossible.
He's just like us.
Figured out, I've gotten financial advice, this and that, from my two buddies. They've helped me out. So it's like, they own WizUp. So it's like, they've helped me make so much money to where I don't even want anything.
Wow. When I saw this,
Very
I
articulate.
thought to myself, is this guy confessing? He talks about getting financial advice from someone that changed his life. Like, from who? Who is it, Steve? Help us. Is it Warren Buffett? Did you get advice from Max Kaiser?
He's a tier 1
I mean, honestly,
boy.
from the way he's talking, whatever this magical
congrats on the new house and the upcoming
is,
marriage, Philbo. Congratulations.
Nelk's merch business.
That's
wonderful.
I don't do that from selling t-shirts, dude. It's actually impossible.
So what is this financial secret? What is this
knowledge?
And yeah, go
Immediately
for it,
I started hunting around. At first, I couldn't find much. Just more evidence that Steve Will Do It, of all people, is more loaded than possibly any other YouTuber in the world right now. Just watch this answer to a question about finances from Steve-O's podcast.
What is your mission?
To be a billionaire.
You're gonna be a billionaire.
All right.
To be a billionaire, yep.
Do you have a timeline for that?
He's a pretty smart guy. He can probably do
5
it.
years?
Damn.
What? Wait a second. 3 to 5 years? He's not even saying that ironically or as a joke. He's like, yeah, what, 3 to 5 years? I don't know. I mean, whatever secret way he's talking about making money earlier, the kind of wealth that's impossible.
If anyone deserves it, it's Steve will do it.
What we're missing here, the missing link. And I wasn't making much progress finding out how he was doing it. I realized I had to focus up. I got to set my ego aside. I got to make a change. There we go. I'm finally ready. What happened next was kind of hard to stomach. I spent the next several days watching enough Steve Will Do It content to make my eyes bleed. But finally, all my work
That's a privilege right there.
I finally found the episode.
Get to watch Steve Will Do It.
Once again mentions his friend who made him so much money.
Alfonso has helped me a lot, you know, with some financial like making good financial moves, money moves. I'm forever grateful for him, and I'm gonna gift him a Richard Mille. It's so unique. He has a bunch of Richard Milles, but this one's like a unique one.
Okay, so we actually learned something here. One, this
some Tennessee dude and
Alfonso
saltiest
guy,
boy.
Steve's special friend who helped him.
Probably based.
He
Depends
must
on the
be
video.
loaded, right? Because if he has a collection of Richard Mille watches that regularly cost hundreds of thousands of dollars individually, a collection would mean he's at least worth several $1 million minimum. Now at this point, I'm imagining several different possible candidates for this mentor of Steve.
2 gift subs, that
Obviously,
one guy.
Ty Lopez being the first one. But I was completely wrong. The financial wizard behind the curtain is shockingly young.
So this is Alfonso.
I was expecting it to be a child.
This guy?
I thought it was going to be like a
your
14-year-old.
average frat bro in his mid-20s.
Here's
But even
Alfonso.
That was like breaking my brain.
He just started 8th
Things
grade.
started to make even less sense. Pay attention to what he calls Alfonso just a bit later in this clip. I'm going to let it play for a bit.
And this is Doom. 100% of the time, 365 days of the year, he wears a full send / Steve Will Do It / Happy Dad shirt. And Alan, 90.
Whoa. Did you catch that? He calls him
Alan. And Alan.
And he does it again later, too.
This is Alan's beautiful girlfriend.
Alan again.
Interesting.
Will Do It, mislabel his friend. To find out, I called up a friend of mine who's been digging into this, the Third Eye himself.
This is so cute.
Because we need to get to the bottom
of
who this mystery man is. Philion, thanks so much for taking the time. I know you've been looking into this. Who is this Alfonso guy? Or Alan, whoever.
He owns It Works.
All right, so I tracked it all down. His name is Alan. He's a 25-year-old multi-millionaire running the Los Angeles social media scene. He owns both Roobet and Wizza. You know Roobet, right?
Yeah, it's that online casino that Steve Will Do It and all those guys are gambling on, right?
Exactly, except it's offshore, unregulated, cryptocurrency
Good work,
based,
Philion.
and it's not legal in the US. And they are raking in tens of millions of dollars per month.
Oh my gosh. Wait a second. You're saying Alan owns that along with Wizza as well?
Yep.
Those are some big accusations. How do
Use
you know
Sonic
it's
and
this like
Taken
frat
Mage
bro
and
behind it
Monado
all? He doesn't have his name on it, right?
Well, he does have Roobet's name on himself. He's quite literally got a tattoo of it on his wrist, which he showcases above his Richard Mille, you know, the $500,000 watches.
You know, all the one that all the 25-year-olds own.
Yeah. I mean, I got 2 of them, but I got him also on the transitive property of Aiden Ross.
Wait, what do you mean? You got a clip for that or something?
Of course, let's roll it.
This house is sponsored by a company called like Wizza or some shit. I
What?
haven't at all, but I could do. And if you guys can help, you guys can literally help me come up with giveaways.
If you're a
like,
company,
like,
and you work with Aiden Ross, you're fucking dumb. He doesn't even know his sponsors. This is sponsored by Chick-fil-A or some shit. I don't fucking know. You should. And then he like rolls over on you. So he like went on stream and he's like, "Hey guys, you remember that like MILF token or something I told you to buy? It was actually just a scam." Like if you pay Aiden Ross to advertise your shit, you deserve the crash and burn 100%. God damn. The fucking company buys his house and they can't even remember their name.
last person to blah 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 gets blah 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 blah. Like I can literally promote it how I want to do it, how we want to do it. You guys can help me decide. Like, yo, Aiden, you should do a giveaway where you're doing this. They're actually really cool dudes, bro. And they're just like me. Like, they own Roobet. They own that site, right?
Not only that, Roobet's Rocket Fund LLC is also registered to the exact same address as the Wizza Sweepstakes LLC, which is 930 Washington Avenue, Suite 205, Miami 33139.
Holy shit.
Thanks for some Space Joker and the Prime Reborn.
Guys. So When Steve will do is talking about his friend who owns Wizza helping him out financially in life, he's talking about Rubet?
Yep, he's talking about Alan. And not only that, this guy Alan used to be part of the CSGO gambling scene back in the day under the name Arrow1738 until he shut down his YouTube channel with 40,000 subscribers.
Let's go. It all comes back to CSGO gambling.
It's the same scam all over again.
Exactly.
All right, I know that's been a lot, so we're going to recap real quick. So Steve Will Do It is like insanely loaded because of this guy whose name is Alfonso, but not Alfonso because that's actually an alias. His name is Alan, and he owns a sketchy giveaway company called Wizza, but also Rubet, which is an online gambling casino, which obviously gives us some context to why Steve Will Do It is defending Rubet so hard on Twitter. This is his golden goose. This is where his money is coming from. In fact, remember that $1 million video? I think we finally have the answer to that. It may not have been sponsored, but watching it again, there definitely was a sponsor in that video. This is definitely our guy. He's the reason for this lavish spending. But I also realized that this story might be bigger than just Steve. Yes, he's loaded. And I'm determined to find out how much money he's making from getting his fans to gamble at offshore, unregulated casinos. But there are many other influencers also promoting Rubet. You've got Nelk, Aiden Ross, Logan Paul's friend, Banks, and you also got Wizza. How does that play into this sketchy giveaway company? And what about Alfonso? There's just so much.
I don't know a whole lot about Rubet. I've heard the name before. Hold on. I feel like they sent me an email pretty recently. Let me see. Give me 1 second. I've definitely seen it on Twitter because of his beef. Yeah, oh, I do have a Rubet offer. Let's see. Like, I don't know how someone reads this and is like, yeah, I'm fucking on. Like, in their promotional offer to me, they say, rather than being a game based on luck, we are a skill-based trading competition where Earthlings trade the coin to compete for $1 million in winnings. Like, the ship will depart in the end of Earth's July, with an engine too powerful for its own good. The flight can only last somewhere between 15 to 18 days. We'll fly for as long as we can. We don't exactly know when it'll crash. Throughout that period, we'll be pulling incremental amounts of liquidity to secure competitors' winnings. When the liquidity runs out, we will sift through the wreckage, find our survivors, and reward them with cold, hard $BUSD. Total winnings distributed will be decided by the volume of liquidity secured at the time of the crash, and winners will be vetted for authenticity. Yeah, it doesn't tell me shit. That's just weird. Like, I don't know, like, what the fuck does any of that mean? Like, I actually feel like I'm being scammed in their own promotional opportunity that they email me. Easy Tier 1 Wicked Games and Tier 1 Nacho the Dead, and give sub Berserker and resub Papa John Destroyer. Do you think Alan wrote this himself? Thanks to the Bits Forsaken again, and yeah, you're not wrong. Thanks to the resub Alex and the Prime Armature, and the resub Infected Cloud and Tyler. Yeah, I definitely thought I had gotten an email from him. And I did. Or at least someone that's claiming to represent them. I guess. It could not be them.
Here, I think I gotta make a call.
Just catching up on a new scam kill command.
All right, Mood, I'm passing this off to you. We need to do more research about Rubet. How does it work? How do you get paid? What's going on with all these LA influencers?
Oh, brother, I'm already on it. Look at this. Look at the stuff I already found.
Wait, what the hell is this?
Yo, Aiden, can you show me how to hop like a kangaroo while he's icy? Bro, why do you want me to do that, Howie? You're fucking weird as fuck, bro.
Alright, now I'm gonna watch Muda's. Thanks to the resub Warden Unit and Kizzy. True, Japin. True. So I don't think this is illegal, right? Oh, it is. It's very illegal. What the fuck do you mean? All right, I'm down to do 50 minutes on this. Now I'm pretty invested. Things are some quantum. In the bits Alamortis.
Hello guys and gals, me Mudahar.
I'm not sure if I've seen that teller.
Watched the first part of this video. Not on my channel, on my good friend CoffeeZilla's channel. If you don't know him, you probably remember him from like 2 months ago when we looked at Save the Kids Together, which was an absolutely bombastic time together. Since then, we've been working on Rubets for months, and we've basically sort of learned blockchains and various new technologies over and over again. Our investigation game has gone a step higher, if I must say. Now remember, this is part 2 of 6 in a series.
God, Forsaken, thank you so much, man, for the 20 gift subs.
To recap his prior video,
really appreciate it. Thank you, bro.
Basically looked at an influencer known as Steve Will Do It. Various influencers.
Are you sponsored by Rubet Forsaken?
Now, Steve Will Do It had
been throwing around some fat stacks tonight, man. Thank you.
Possibly making versus how much cash that he was absolutely burning. Now, what's more important in this is the character known as Alan. Now, in Coffee's video, he looked at Alan, and another investigator jumped in called Fillion, who basically looked and sort of broke this story out initially. Now, Fillion basically linked Alan, who is this character, who Steve Will Do It himself credits in the video as Alfonso. Except that may not be the real name in this situation, because Steve himself in the same video refers to Alfonso.
I already tried Volume Booster, it's not working.
Fact about Alfonso and Doom, 100% of the time, 365 days of the year, he wears
so I can't turn it up.
/Steve Will Do It /Happy Dad shirt. And Alan,
please read some def text.
Literally within the same sentence, points at the guy, switches names. No cuts in the video, by the way. That's the raw video you're looking at. Alan has also been tied to Wizza through his social media profile where he says, I make cool websites, www.wizza.com. Alan himself has also been linked to a CSGO gambling circuit way back from years ago through this Twitter account.
Bow.
Now, if we're using the Alan Wizza connection here, Aiden Ross jumps in as what I would like to call basically at this point a secret informant, because during a live stream,
give subs blue and the 3K bits Forsaken. Jesus Christ, man.
The owner of Wizza, who sponsors his house, is also the owner of Rubet.
This house is sponsored by a company called like Wizza or some shit. I haven't paid rent at all, but I could do, and if you guys could literally help me come up with giveaways, like challenges and like last person to blah 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 gets blah 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 blah. Like I can literally promote it how I want to do it, how we want to do it. You guys can help me decide. Like
you should big where you're doing this. Anime and
they're actually really cool dudes, bro, and they're just like me. Like they own Rubet, they own that site, right?
In fact, even Steve Will Do It, when he was dealing with luxury timepieces, decided to actually leave this in one of the videos that he was working or collaborating with. Listen closely.
I know, that's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
So I paid 60.
Oh, this one's super nice.
But so my buddy gifted me
Rubet.
So now,
you gotta love the beep after the Rubet. Talk about an editing error. But this watch, I swear I've seen it somewhere.
one of my best buddies gave me this iced out watch, and it's badass and shit. But the reason why I bought that one is because I want this iced out watch to be like in display, like in here, like a museum. It sits there, like from Alfonso LLC.
You know, if I'm not mistaken, those
they're different.
The same watch, but in the first clip, he nods to the idea of Rubet, you know? But in the second clip, he just blatantly said Alfonso. So this
I've tried
honestly,
cranking out as much as I can.
Up the names. Listen to this whole clip here, and you'll
hear
hear
it for
5K
yourself. Bits trade. Jesus, man, thank you.
Alan, and then like literally 5 seconds later, Rubet gets mentioned.
I got ripped off extremely.
What'd you pay? 30?
No. We don't even want to talk about it.
What does Steve Will Do It do?
I got ripped off extremely.
Seems like he just complains about spending money.
My friend,
while spending money.
Yesterday, he gifted me this. I won't ever wear that because I got ripped off and I hate it.
He just drinks.
So whenever I found out I did.
You paid over 30.
Yeah.
I've watched Nelk before, but I don't think I've ever seen Steve Will Do It.
I know. That's what I'm saying.
At least I don't remember him.
I paid 60.
Oh, this one's super nice.
But so my buddy gifted me
Rubet.
I really do want to hear the explanation to all of that. Some of you may have also heard of the name Matt Dua flying around on the internet from articles as of last year where he was credited as the integrations director at Rubet. So there's a few people involved.
Not usually
now, these links are important indeed, but they're going to play a lot of importance towards Part 5 and Part 6 when we finish this series off. Because trust me, the connections are huge. Now, this part is for the T channels real quick. I wanted to show them what actual reporting looks like. Ladies and gentlemen, we got in touch much with the teams over at Wizza, and really at the end of the day, no matter what in these videos, we want to provide the most sides of the audience that we actually can, okay? We want to give you the most facts that you can deal with to make a conclusion for yourself. There's no real gain for
That's
us
no
to
fun.
paint
Tell me what
things
to
in a
think.
specific way. So if Wizza has something to say, I'll definitely make sure to reflect it. Now, ladies and gentlemen, I asked Wizza about the Allen connection, and in an actual DM with us, the CEO, in fact, if you can look here, the actual person claims that they are the CEO and an owner. I have full authority to speak on the behalf of my company and our entire team. So in this message to me, they actually said, I've seen the theory circulating on Reddit and YouTube. Allen seems to be the center of attention and is the obvious connection between the two companies. However, that's nothing out of the ordinary, since he does work on both companies, quite obviously on influencer relationships. So it's interesting that we actually have this mention. So Allen is, I guess, confirmed to be close to Wizza, at least in terms of influencer relationships. In another further DM, we share a lot of brand partners when I asked them about investors and influencers because Allen has been involved in influencer marketing at both companies. I think Steve has been pretty forthcoming on that. I'm sure Steve has been plenty forthcoming. Steve has also been deleting a lot of content too, so regardless, it's a whole shady rabbit hole to go down there. Now, Roobet, by their own admission, is crypto's fastest growing casino. Yes, using a currency that is unregulated in a part of the world that frankly cannot service most of the people that it is advertising to. Now, if you go to Roobet right now, it's actually a site that you can access if you live outside of the United States, outside of the United Kingdom, Spain, France, the Slovak Republic, and Italy. Don't believe me? That comes straight from their own TOS. In fact, if you look at their own TOS, last updated 18th June 2021, Roobet is actually a website that operates under the government of Curaçao using a master license of gaming services provider NV8048/Jazz. Now, if Roobet sounds familiar, it's because I've already covered it in a video before when I looked into the gambling epidemic that sort of peaked a couple months back. Now, Roobet, you may have actually heard of being used by large streamers, in fact, Twitch's largest streamer as far as I know. You may have seen Aiden Ross,
Logan Paul's friend,
FaZe Banks, Rice Gum, and various members of Nelk, and again, Steve will do it. You might have even seen famous police informant, rapper Tekashi69 gambling online on Roobet with our good friend Steve will do it. So
this looks like a lot of fun.
Choice for some of the LA crowd
flip
out there.
kangaroo
now,
tiles.
if you go to YouTube and type in the words Roobet, you can actually straight up see that, yeah, it's probably one of the most popular. Can you make money Roobet betting? I don't know. Here you got a Fillion video, which is a pretty solid banger as far as I've seen. You've got I tested guaranteed cash profits. There's no guarantees in a casino unless you're really
I tested guaranteed cash profit.
Good
man, he's playing the game.
The dark side of Roobet. The creepy online game needs to be stopped. We'll get to all that later on, buckos. Clearly it's popular, okay? Clearly it's there. Now, to understand how Roobet works, this is an offshore casino that's based in Curaçao through a registered company known as Raw Entertainment BV, registered in April of this year, no less. Now, you might be wondering, wait, Muda, hasn't Roobet been here longer than April 2021?
Check it out, Teller.
You're absolutely right.
Tails.
Actually, you are completely on the money. So, I used our good friend Wayback Machine to really look at what Roobet was all about. Now, if we actually use our good old Wayback Machine, you can see that we're on Roobet.com. This is the site right now. Now, through Wayback Machine, we're actually able to go to Roobet.com as it appeared in the year 2020. In fact, we can go even further. Well, 2021 won't load, but 2020 loads just fine. Now, on the current site at the moment, if you scroll all the way bottom, you'll notice that Roobet.com is a brand name of Raw Entertainment BV, registration number 1572005. And of course, they are licensed underneath in Curaçao with 8048/Jazz. In Curaçao, there are basically 4 licenses that grant sub-licenses.
I don't even know where Curaçao is in the world. I've never heard of it. Sounds like something from Star Wars.
It's basically a giant mess over there that's going through some level of a restructuring, but this is currently how it operates right now. But I know if you go into the Wayback Machine, you can actually see that Roobet.com is a brand name of Tech House Limited, registration number 171902. Now, of course, if you look at the bottom over here, Roobet.com used to belong, I guess, at some point to Tech House Limited, all right, where they were registered underneath license 365/Jazz, another license. They were also granted another sub-license, which if you click this, it takes you to another Wayback page where, guess what? They actually have a validation, all right, a validator. Now, currently, the Wayback Machine archive of this validator in 2020 says that this is not verified. I believe this might actually be an error, though, but looking further into their current validation as of right now, slap that refresh, you can see that this is a terminated license, doesn't really work for Tech House Limited. So apparently it seems at some point Roobet switched hands. I don't know why that necessarily was, but April of 2021 this year, suddenly switching hands, I don't know. It's a long line of questions to ask. Speaking of license validation, one of the actual validators that I used, and I tried my best to find the actual Roobet license to see if the actual, license they had was validated. And in this case, you actually see they have the company name registered as Raw Entertainment BV, same, registration addresses, emails are there, supported roobet.com. The registered website is roobet.com. Now in this validator, it says operating status is valid. However, at the top it says the seal validation page has expired since it was generated on October 2nd, 2021. So currently at the time of filming, it's October the 4th. I also want to just quickly update this by going back to...
Well, let's just fucking gamble. Mudahar should see what the odds are, too.
Actually go down and show you that
thoroughly evaluate each scam.
So you finally get this validator once again that I didn't see any time that I was recording, and their license does actually appear to be valid. So good job on that.
Thanks to the Prime.
But again, this is kind of the basic shit you have to deal with when you're working with an offshore casino, okay? Because when you're dealing with any offshore casino, especially one where the influencers are, a good chunk of them based in the United States, catering to American players who probably are firing up VPNs just to use the service, that becomes a bit of a problem, okay? Because it's offshore, because you're using a VPN and you're violating whatever TOS that they have, if you look directly into their terms of services, by using VPNs, you warrant not to use any form of VPN or other methods or program to hide your IP or state of origin unless you went through full ID and address verification as described.
Well, what does this all mean with Steve? He can't read.
So again, if you don't live in the United States,
so how does this apply to him?
And they find out and suddenly they have to give you $100,000 back if you ever won it, you may not ever see that money because congratulations, you're not supposed to be playing in this casino. So again, it becomes a bit of an issue. Now, again, if you go to YouTube right now and you type in Roobet VPN, there are people that are actually teaching you how to use it, all right? They're giving you tutorials on VPNs, deposits, and withdrawals. How about don't do it in the first place, okay? When you're playing offshore, you're putting all your money on the line. I'm just saying, you're putting your money in a risky section. That's not okay. When the US government straight up is telling you criminal organizations may try to take advantage of the availability of US dollars, offshore banking, and incorporation systems, 2 FTZs, a large shipping container terminal, Curacao-based online gaming sites. So they've already mentioned it in official reports. Now, Curacao, being in the Dutch Caribbean, is basically a constituent country of the Netherlands. And the Netherlands is currently dealing with actually fixing some of these issues right now. So sites like
nice. Just in time.
may actually have difficulty operating in Curacao in the next coming year or two. Because right now, because of the pandemic and aid packages being offered through, for instance, if you're reading on casino.org right now, which is the world's online gaming authority, they're straight up telling you Rogue Online Gaming Hub Curacao vows to clean up its act in return for COVID-19 rescue packages. Curaçao's days as a haven for shady online gaming sites.
What a cool thing to be known for.
A financial bailout package from the Dutch government.
Like an actual hub for scams.
The island has been told to clean up its act. And here they're talking about the 4 master licenses, where one of the actual quotes right here is sub-licenses are relatively inexpensive and quick to easy and acquire. Once an operator is up and running, taxes are low, regulatory oversight is almost non-existent, and operators are free to target whichever markets they wish, regardless of the laws in those markets. Now, not all operators licensed in Curacao are bad, but those that can thrive in a jurisdiction where oversight is slack. If you go and try to get a Curacao gaming license, there are plenty of people out there willing to assist.
Wait, I can actually just apply for one?
That'll help you get that license. Again, it costs a certain amount of money for sure, but whatever you're paying is definitely negligible in comparison to the money you'd be raking in operating a very successful casino. Now, we looked at Roobet's KYC clause, okay? If you are playing from some major countries that they have banned, don't expect to get
start
your
up
money
a good
KYC
crypto
phases.
scam to fund Moist Esports.
I've actually done some test gambling. I've degenerated myself a little bit for this video right here. I
let's go
over here to the site and put in some money. If you click on the history for my account, you can see that
Mudahar makes millions of dollars.
$17. This is a Bitcoin deposit.
Deletes the video.
$60 of Ethereum in, and then $20 of Ethereum. All in all, I put in less than about $100, but I actually use some of the slots. So I played Rue Bonanza and Tome of Madness, where I lost $1.60, another $1.60, but then I made $10 almost. And then I lost 20 cents on a Rue Bonanza and another 20 cents. So I guess, in a way, I must have made some money. Again, transaction fees be damned, right? Ladies and gentlemen, this is important because we're going to be looking at how these transactions work, which is actually the real meat and potatoes of this video. Now, to understand, when we're looking at all these gambling websites, okay, I'm okay to operate. I'm from Canada. I can put money in and take money out. And in some capacity, I've been able to do so. In fact, if you look at all of my withdrawals, they do in fact come with full-on transaction hashes. You can look at this transaction hash for yourself in its entirety and confirm that I've actually earned my money back. I've received money. Now, I have to believe that because I spent less than $100, I didn't trigger any necessity for KYC. Now, if you ever do put in a lot of money, I believe at some point they're going to want to ask for your identification, your documents, your docs, if you will. If you go to my account history real quick, you can see that in the verification tab, I have given them my name as John McAfee. As far as these people know, I'm a good old billionaire, okay? I'm a good old McAfee boy. I have been born in the year 1994 with a number that hopefully should be blurred out. I have my actual address, I shit you not, set as City Hall for Toronto. And it works. Now, of course, in level 2, where they ask for proof of identity and proof of address, I haven't provided any of it. And when you really, if you ever do make a lot of money, you're going to have to provide sources of funds. Probably when you also drop in a lot of money, too. Hopefully, that's how their AML and KYC works. If it doesn't, I'd be a little questioning. I'd be questioning the situation even more than I am now. Some people really do gamble some of their money away. For instance, this one post on Reddit right here said, Roobet is taking balances. If you play with VPNs, watch out. And you can see right here in this conversation where they probably were asked to give some level of identification where they were like, no thanks, I never had to do anything like this for any casino online.
Very sweet for
do I need to show these documents in order to withdraw?
I don't know what those would sell for
in my account? Unfortunately, I am not sure. However, I have gone ahead and pinged our compliance team regarding this. As soon as they are available, they will get back to you here. And then say thank you for taking the time to respond to our request. Unfortunately, we are unable to unrestrict your account and allow you to withdraw your funds in your account until your account has been verified. However, if you wish to not complete the verification process and there was a new deposit you made since your account has been restricted, we would be happy to look into that for you. Can you please provide the transaction hash? Point is, you're using a cryptocurrency that is used to hide your identity, and now all of a sudden you have to give all your information away. It seems like the whole fucking point of using Bitcoin is null and void. But yeah, you can see people actually lying about where they're from, putting money in, and then when the KYC phase comes, then they get screwed. So now we should look at all of the influencers that are throwing money into Roobet, the people that we talked about earlier in the video. Now, it's clear that there are sponsorships being tossed around, and obviously when you're sponsored, you get given some compensation, okay? That's just generally how a sponsorship works. You make money. Now, what comes...
You could just not do it, though, for a crypto casino, right? Like, what are they going to do? Sue you?
So
they're running an illegal casino.
Aiden Ross, who's an individual that actually ended up leaking how much money they were making throughout this entire deal. It actually made the news. It was on Dexerto and a lot of, internet sites out there. Yeah, right here from a stream clip, our buddy Aiden Ross was...
Yeah, I remember this one.
DualBits, another online casino, right? In fact, you can look at DualBits right now. Here's DualBits. Bam, bam. Here, crypto casino. This is not a new concept. Everyone's running these operations. But if you look into here, they offered me a bag. I offered you guys nearly 2M, that's million buckos, a month.
What a deal. What a deal.
Math, kids, that's a lot of money per year. I need dick. You offered 1.4 and didn't want to cover expenses. Imagine making over 7 figures and still needing the expenses covered. Jesus Christ. What kind of expenses? Well, let's try to figure that out. Roobet covering expenses. Plus we get referral code money. We are getting more. Sorry, bro. Maybe we can work again someday. Sad face. You kept all your referral code money as a group, lol. I offered 1.6. So yeah, they're making somewhere
I do remember when that leaked.
$2 million. Okay, maybe more. Maybe potentially more money is being tossed around. But what you have to learn is these are massive, massive sponsorships. Now, to understand, this is where it gets kind of scummy, okay? Let's say that these people aren't throwing any of their own money into these gambling sessions.
Thank you so much, bro.
Well, that's
the Prime catalog.
Think of it like this, okay? If you're promoting gambling,
yep, I'm gonna do some OSRS tomorrow.
Without using your own money, you're not gambling. It's not high stakes gambling. It becomes a bit of a problem. Now, of course, I guess the proper comparison you can make is it's like if you're promoting alcohol, right? Like if I told you, hey guys, this whiskey is thebomb.com. I drink it every night. And I'm drinking whiskey on live streams every night, plugging in a code. Okay?
I'd have to buy that whiskey.
Code wasted.
If it's good enough for Mudahar, it's good enough for me.
Find out I'm not drinking whiskey. I'm chugging apple juice. Okay, I'm chugging some good old appy juice. Well, at that point, it becomes unethical because I'm promoting a destructive product to you, an addictive product, and I'm also not harming my own health. In fact, if anything, my viewers are then buying the product. I'm making the money, and your health is being harmed. It'd be one thing if I was getting wasted as well. That'd be fine and dandy, okay? Then the ethical nature wouldn't be as damning. But you can kind of understand the comparison that I'm trying to make. If you're gambling with your own money and promoting gambling, somehow, in my opinion, it's a bit more acceptable when you're promoting it to adults and you're also putting yourself on the line. Now, you've also heard that influencers have constantly mentioned that they're being down bad because of this situation, like they're actually down in the hole. But again, imagine if you're not gambling with your own money. Let's say a site
what a dream
a month, okay? And you throw away 2.5 million. You still have the 500
Yeah, maybe
grand.
Coke Man.
Now, I guess the only option you can see yourself being down in is all of a sudden you're consistently losing whatever money you're making. So let's say you have 500,000 up one day. All right, and the next month comes, they give you another 3 million. All of a sudden, you spent the 3 million you have made plus the 500,000. Then you're down 3.5 million. And of course, the pit can go deeper and deeper and deeper. You get what I'm saying, right? But I find it really hard with all this money being thrown at the actual streamer and them losing some of this money that they aren't coming out somewhere on top. At the end of the day, streaming is a business, okay? If anything, if you are actually down, you should get out of it and stop promoting it to your audience. Because if you're given this much of a leg up in gambling and you're still down, imagine what the viewers are going through. So
if you're that down after such help, okay? You're just not good at it. Gambling's free money, baby. It's all about skill.
Bitcoin transactions
gotta finesse those slot machines.
Some of these streamers maybe have actually put some of their own money in.
Tell them to stop being so
naughty. I showed you earlier how I gambled. I threw money into Roobets. So let me show you how an actual normal transaction looks like. Let's say that you were to go to Roobets. Well, if you put Bitcoin into Roobet, I'm going to use a tool called Explorer by Crystal Blockchain to show you a transaction. So this is my wallet, okay? 3CJ6.
Pandemonium and
this
genius.
is where I sent 0.009 BTC. That money then went to an account known as 1AG, right? How do you know 1AG is related to Roobets? Well, let's go to Roobet's site once again.
Angel.
So if I go to Roobet's site and I click the big green deposit button, you'll notice that I have this deposit tab, the withdraw tab, the tip, and the free tab. Now, if you look at the deposit tab, the Bitcoin wallet is 1AG YVX1YUHYDD. Now, I want you to think of this as an intermediary wallet, okay? So anytime somebody puts in a Bitcoin into that account, it should credit my Roobet account, okay? So at some point, if you sent a Bitcoin to this, Roobet, once it receives the Bitcoin, would look into that wallet and say, okay, Muda's account received 1 BTC. So credit Muda's account on the website's backend with 1 BTC worth of US dollars. Now I can then play slots, gamble, and the site's backend can keep that record in check. When it comes time to take my money out, Roobet will then look at the amount of money that I'm requesting. It will see if that's even available on my account through that number, and then it will send a transaction back to me. It would be monumentally weird if Roobet was transacting Bitcoin between accounts as slots were played or gambling sessions were run. That would be a bit insane. That wouldn't be logistically real.
We have the worst audio levels on this site, dude. You're 1,000 times louder than every video.
That people put money into.
I don't know what you want me to do about that, man.
And that's pretty much how it works. So I put in that amount of Bitcoin into
Some videos are quieter than others.
Account then sends that Bitcoin
is what it is.
to this 3QTU. Now, this 3QTU has 443,000 transactions. If you look at the owner, according to Crystal Blockchain, it's Roobet. If you look at my intermediary wallet and you check its owner, it's Roobet. So my money goes to an intermediary wallet,
check
which
this out.
then credits my
Let me
account
throw on my
with
volume
that much
extension.
BTC you're seeing, and then a couple days later, it then sends that
Now it's
money
better.
to the big giant Roobet wallet. So you understand, and if you look at the amount of money, that's 11,609 Bitcoin just sitting in there, and it constantly gets received and then sent. Right now, according to the last time this was checked, it has around 40 Bitcoin. How much is 40 Bitcoin? Well, let's do the quick math. That's how much is sitting in the hot wallet. $1.8 million. Okay, almost 1.9 million. Okay, 1.9 million. All right, let's just round it up. That's how much money is sitting in the account. All right, you understand that? That's not chump change. Now again,
it is to Aiden Ross. That's a monthly deposit.
Litecoin, where the real difference is for Bitcoin, shit. I can request new addresses, but Ethereum I cannot. Same with Litecoin. These account addresses are permanently tied to all of your Roobet accounts. So this is what it looks like normally, right, for Bitcoin users. Now, if you go and type into the ETH account, you can see that I have an
Tier 1 Alonzo and the Prime ZSEP.
So I have OX9CC979. If I click on this actual Bitcoin wallet, you can see that this account received money from OX8E8. OX8E8 is one of my actual Ethereum accounts. It has $134 in it right now. Now, the first transaction was from Binance, so I actually bought some Ethereum with Bitcoin through a decentralized exchange. Then I sent the money, 0.02 Ether, to the intermediary Roobet wallet. So that same wallet where I deposit money in and Roobet credits my account. Now, every time I get money out of Roobet, it comes from the Roobet hot wallet. The Roobet hot wallet has around $581,000 worth of Ethereum in it right now, with 986,000 transactions. In fact, these are all dependent transactions right now.
So the house is losing.
People are requesting money out of Roobet, so it's very active. And here's me again putting money later into Roobet. You can actually see that according to the actual hours, I put in money earlier that day, then a few hours later, I gave money to good old Roobet. And you can actually see this reflected in my account history. So all of my deposits in this case,
I think he's just proving that Roobet functions
and then a few
and
hours
explaining
later,
how it works. Not necessarily that it's a big scam yet.
Now again, I'm just telling you this is what an account looks like. When you go to the Ethereum intermediary wallet, I put money into it, and then almost about a day later, Roobet then takes money from that Ethereum like intermediary wallet and then sends it to the Roobet hot wallet. So it's all a cyclical thing, okay? The Roobet hot wallet
it's not really a big scam.
Ethereum
fuck you talking about?
Okay, it puts an Ethereum there from these intermediary wallets and it gives from the Roobet hot wallet when people want to take their money out of Roobet onto their own wallet. So that's how the whole chain works. Now, to understand, I just doxed my Ethereum account for Roobet, okay? So now everyone in the world can go to those addresses and confirm exactly what I'm doing with the money.
And they can send you money.
If I send the $130
pretty good,
Ethereum
pretty good idea.
Account, you will know what account I'm sending money to.
Just toss you some Ethereum.
Blockchain. It's all verified. It's all out
Roobet
there.
can tip
it's
you
all
now.
Recorded forever. Now, it's one thing to just speculate and throw all this stuff around. It's another thing to get lucky. See, in this case, how it worked is, as I showed you my Bitcoin wallet address, I doxed myself. These things are actually pretty ironclad and anonymous, provided the user doesn't just happen to give it out somewhere. Now, you can imagine when you're streaming for hours on end, you're probably going to end up giving up an address that you probably shouldn't in the grand scheme of things to a bunch of people investigating over the internet. So, for instance, we had to watch a few hours of Aiden Ross and
rough.
Various other streamers
Jesus
like
Christ.
the Nelk Boys. Trust me, it was a truly mentally taxing experience. But we got lucky because in 1 hour and 48 minutes of this one random stream that was done on 06, 24, 20,
Aiden Ross is such a fucking
Hammy Baby,
liability.
Banks, Rice Scum, and more. and more. You actually found out that he leaked his Bitcoin deposit address. So his Bitcoin intermediary wallet. Now, it's a pretty low quality over there, but we ended up, basically using our big brains, and we ended up finding out that it was 1D153RGEG. So copy that into blockchain history, and boy, get ready to watch this fucking wild beast. Boys and girls out there, I'm going to Control-V this good old address in. Now, of course, it says there are 2 blockchains with your result. Now, trust me, this is not something where, you can just accidentally put anything out. If I take like one letter and switch out like U over here, and I take 7 and I turn that into a 9 and I hit search, we couldn't find what you're looking for. So again, we have to believe we're pretty dead on the money for this. So click on BTC or BCH. You're going to be surprised both ways.
Oh, I'm ready.
Aiden Ross didn't put a fucking dime of his money into that Bitcoin wallet address. So, boys and girls, let's go back. How much money does fucking Aiden Ross have in the account? $300,000. For those of you who want to quantify that in a stupid car purchase, that's the price of 2 Lamborghinis, okay, if you buy right. Ladies and gentlemen, where did he
Not
put the money?
bad.
This guy was just straight up given $300K. Now, that's not the wildest thing. On the Aiden account, this is the Aiden account. Unless he requested a new Bitcoin address, Aiden never put in a dime of his own money to gamble. Is it really gambling? Is it really high-stakes gambling?
Yeah, you can just cash out that $300K and be like,
of your
fuck
money
it.
to begin with. No, it's not. To reiterate, this is my Bitcoin wallet, okay? So you can see right here that I threw it into an actual intermediary wallet for me on Roobet, and then it went to Roobet a while later. So I actually put my money in, but when I look at the Bitcoin wallet for Aiden in this case, there is literally 0 transactions that have ever happened. So again, unless you're requesting new addresses or something, we clearly see that there is no transactional history, at least from Aiden. So it's all happening in the back end. Now, it's not
you know who
just
cares
Aiden
the
that
least
did
about
this.
all
Some of the
this?
Nelk boys, for instance,
Aiden Ross
Kyle,
fans.
one of the big Nelk boys out there.
He openly says he scams them, and they just like cheer it on, like, "Yeah, you
So
did,
here
you
we've
got
got
us."
him, right now on day 10.
Still interesting
where he
to
was
learn
doing
about, though.
high stakes gambling. Oh yeah. Okay, let's hit play on this one. So, ladies and gentlemen, if we just watch this, all right, and go a little bit further, he clicks the deposit key. Now, go frame by frame. Bam! Look at that wallet address. Again, translating it from this gibberish of 360p has its own special merit. So, again, if you take that address and you go into the blockchain explorer buckos, and again, I want to tell you, okay, if you go in here and you just change random words around, all right, and you search for it, you're not going to get what you're looking for. It has to be basically exact, all right? So search for that address. You get 2 results.
Thank you so much, man.
BTC and Bitcoin Cash. Hit both of them, $0. This
What,
has been transacted 0 times. This has been transacted 0 times. Is it really gambling if you haven't fucking put in money? But Murda, does he have any money in Bitcoin in there? Oh, yeah. Around $90,000 worth of Bitcoin is sitting in the account. You can compare it by the fucking symbols too. Yeah, unless they're requesting new addresses. Look, I'm going to give you the benefit of the doubt, all right? But I'm not seeing any transactions.
I can assure you, Steve wasn't requesting new addresses.
Now,
he literally can't read.
Oh, but Muda, how are they?
He doesn't know what that button says.
So, I mean, sponsorships are sponsorships, right? But I think the real big concern that I'm kind of having is when they're pushing their codes. All right, you'll always see it in their video. Okay, they're always pushing some code. Use code FULLSEND, or at least in Aiden Ross's case, it's use code FAM. All right. Now, if you go to good old Roobets, for instance, they do have an affiliate program, okay? So if you go to your account right here, you can click on affiliate, and they do actually have a referral link. So, for instance, mine is Roobet.com, ref equal anal boy.
Retro GN.
You can probably figure out anal boy is me on Roobet. Now, of course, I'm a tier 1 operator. I actually have 5% commission. Well, the more people I claim into this wild scheme, the higher my tier goes, which means I gain a % commission. But the commission, if you look at Roobet's own website, is all about this. Affiliates receive a commission of 5% of the mathematical house edge on all of their referrals wagers, with that percentage increasing as the referrer climbs the tiers. Each player starts at 5%. It increases by 1%, maxing out to 15%. The tiers are climbed
At least Steve gives the money away sometimes.
So the more people you get into Roobet,
yeah, he scams me, but he also gave the money to one of his friends once, so that was cool.
Wagers. So if they're losing,
why are you trying to find a bright side, man?
If they're wagering,
he's fucking you in the mouth.
Like,
what do you mean?
So you're not spending your own money, it seems, at least from the Bitcoin transactions or lack thereof that we've seen. But then all of a sudden, your fans are coming in, pouring $100 here, $1,000 there, if they're getting really degenerate, tens of thousands of dollars. But you're comfortable making the bag, and then making a further cream on top of your fans losing some of their money. Now, that doesn't mean sometimes you don't come across the third scenario. Somebody has a connection.
I don't find this bad at all. Cucklord Andy. Well, that checks out. Your chat history. You've only said 9 things. 1 of them was, or 4 of them were spamming PogChamp, and then the other 5 are saying, it's honestly not a big deal, it's not bad, oh well, and I don't find this bad. Yeah, I mean, that sounds about right. Hey man, I have no problem with it either. People are begging to be scammed by influencers. They're just giving them what they want. It's very interesting to learn about. It's not like it's going to outrage me. Like I said, people literally beg to get scammed. and then when they get scammed, they're like totally fine with it. It's crazy. As evident from that guy. I'm gonna go pee now though, so I'll be right back. Thanks to Prime, Pedro, and the resub, Rhetoric and Pikmin. Yeah, I watched Chet Hanks' interview on stream. I love Channel 5. Oh, this is a pretty crazy account. You have only ever said 18 things in this chat, and they're all about Aiden Ross for the last 6 months. I barely even talk about Aiden Ross. I've only mentioned him like twice in my life. I don't really have a problem with the guy. I don't watch his shit. But almost all of your comments came tonight, saying Aiden doesn't know what he's doing. He's just got a lot of bad influence around him. What are you, like his mom? How is it a scam? It's just promoting gambling like any other gambling promotion. You said that 5 times. Well, it's her fault. What's she doing breaking the rules? I don't know what that's in reference to. He already said he gets fills. He already said he gets fills. Aiden said he already gets fills, and it isn't his money, so it's not exposing anything. See what I'm saying? People literally love getting scammed. Like, they actually welcome it. That's why I'm not mad about it. They are providing a service that people are begging for. People are obsessed with internet celebrities, and they don't care if they're getting used. At the end of the day, he gets to spam W in the Aiden Ross chat and feel like he's part of a family. So of course they're going to come here and defend him. Like, on everything. Even when it's at their own expense. I highly doubt that guy's old enough to gamble. But if he was, and he lost money, I think he would immediately forgive Aiden. No doubt in my mind. I just find it all very interesting at the end of the day. Doesn't make me mad. It's just, I think it's just a really interesting situation here. But to answer your question, him saying that it's just Phil's and not his money doesn't make it any less shitty. Hey guys, this is a gambling site I'm sponsored by. I'm gonna gamble tonight. It's not my money, so I'm not like actually gambling, but you guys should go put your money in there because I make money when you do. It's still immoral. Like, just because he's up front that he's not actually using his money doesn't make it any less awful. Like, I don't know what you, like, your point doesn't really fucking work. And goddamn, Dookie, I just saw that when I went to take a piss. I hope you're really enjoying streaming, man. Thank you for the generosity. Thank you for those huge fucking bits, man. I hope you have a great night. Thanks for the resub, Zorion, Yerfer, and the Prime, Postboy, General, Spoonie, France, Ballsman, and the 5 gift subs, Grushi. Thank you.
Connection to the website, but also may end up being a pretty heavy gambler themselves too. Now, again, I want to reiterate, scenario 1 was me, okay? I joined the site and I basically dumped money into it. To understand something about Roobet that really seems off to me is when you obviously have a childlike audience and you do show them gambling, in a legitimate gambling site or a legitimate casino, a child cannot just drop in money. A minor can't put in dollars into a casino and expect it to fly. There's obviously a lot more checks. But with an unregulated gambling site like Roobet, I was able to give them false information, lie about my date of birth, and without any KYC check that I had to give, even up to this day, I was able to deposit money and then withdraw it as well. Granted, it was less than $100, but for a lot of kids with mommy's credit card or daddy's credit card sitting on the line, they may be able to drop $100 on an unregulated, or sorry, a decentralized crypto exchange, get $100 and throw it into Roobets. Listen, I'm not saying it's something that you would immediately see just in everyday life, but kids can figure this stuff out. And in reality, if you're not actually authoring or you're not actually checking these things heavily, kids are going to eventually gamble, all right? And once they get into that dirty vice, they can get really addicted to that nonsense. Now, in the first scenario, I put in money, it went to an intermediary wallet, and it went to Roobet's wallet later on. So I was a legitimate case. Now, of course, you have influencers like the ones we've just seen who are actually not putting in their money, at least from their Bitcoin addresses, as far as I was able to tell, except they were getting it from what it appears to be the back end of the site. But you have a third scenario where people who are connected to the actual site, at least from transactions it seems, are actually gambling pretty heavily. So let's go tie back real quick. Remember that video we watched earlier where Alfonso or Alan was sort of brought into the mix by our friend Steve? There was another character named Doom13.
Yeah.
Doom13's Twitter profile, you can see that Doom13 talks a lot about Roobet, retweets Wizza, and definitely has a connection to the CSGO gambling side of the internet. See,
cool
Alan
little gamer
and Doom
tag.
have a lot more in common than I ever expected. So let's take a look at Doom's YouTube page and just scour at all the gambling. In my case, I got frame perfect speedrun level lucky. Basically, I clicked on one of his links after watching this stuff for hours on end, and I was lucky enough to find one point where I was able to see this dude's Ethereum wallet, you know, his intermediary Ethereum transaction wallet. I punched that into Bitcoin. I punched that into the blockchain. I audited it, I checked it, and it turns out that this guy is putting a lot of money into this account. Now, anytime in this entire list, when you see the words exchange, it's when he goes to an exchange service and just basically
is that 1.2 million? 1.2 million.
Feeds his intermediary wallet, and it goes from the actual exchange to the wallet.
This guy's in deep.
In certain cases, you can see that he literally puts money in. It goes to the Roobet hot wallet later, okay, a few hours later as expected. However,
what an idiot. Just get sponsored.
Sometimes you see the Roobet.
You don't have to gamble your money.
Why is this important? Well, if you don't know, the second largest whale, and you'll find out later in this video what I mean by that, but as a quick example, the second largest whale basically means from the actual Roobet hot wallet where all these funds eventually pull to, the second largest place where Roobet's hot wallet sends money to is the second largest whale. So why is it that Doom's wallet has money from the second largest whale funneling in? Now, with the amount of videos that are getting deleted by the hour right now on the internet, I have to imagine influencers do not want their audiences to know what these intermediary wallets are. Because logic would dictate if you can figure out the wallet in question, you're able to see any account putting money in. And logically, it's inferable that any account that puts money into an intermediary wallet is probably an account that is owned by the actual person. It's not that you give these accounts to random people on the internet and people can tip you money. There's a totally usable tip feature on the site that you can use right now. And honestly, most of these creators try not to show this as far as I've been able to tell in my time investigating. So when you really get a chance to look into these intermediary wallets, you can start to really trace a lot of connections between one another. So again, in Doom's case, this guy does seem like a genuine gambler. But it is odd that you start to see Roobet's second largest whale. So imagine the flow. Rubet's hot wallet goes
I would
to
have expected the second largest whale to have much more invested.
Puts it into Doom's intermediary wallet, and then the intermediary wallet sends it back to Rubet. So now that we've gone over these three scenarios, let's go back to our buddies Aiden and Kyle and really start to understand that
Kyle?
they're not.
You mean
if their
Steve?
wallets don't show any transactions at all in Bitcoin. Where is that Bitcoin coming from? Is it credited on the back end? Is some mystery benefactor giving it to them? Well, here's where we're going to introduce a character known as Howie. So, ladies and gentlemen, there's a character known as Howie on Rubet, okay? Howie is kind of like the marketing person, okay? You can see on Rubet's own website that they're like, who's seen Howie? Who's seen Howie? Don't think Howie is like Spuds.
That's adorable. Right? That's just adorable.
Is the person that everyone needs to go to. See, even as a multi-millionaire, sometimes you have to give up some of your dignity, and you have to.
This is pretty boring stuff. I find it interesting. This is a multi-million-dollar scam.
Yeah, Howie, fill up my gambling cup. I'm all out. Listen to some of this. It's fucking.
This is a huge scam.
How to do that, Howie? You're weird as bro. What the did he ask for this time? What's it hot, bro? Just get your little hot then. Let
Yeah, do what Howie says. Yeah, you little naughty boy. Yeah, you fucking follow Howie's rules.
So goddamn month, but man, once a clip like that is floating out on the internet, dude, your dignity just goes all the way down.
What a naughty boy.
Get that back, King, I guess, right?
Almost misbehaved.
That's the kind of stuff you have to do to get that cup filled up, buckos. That's how you get the fills. Now, it's also interesting looking into some of these other characters. Like, let's listen into this one real quick. Whenever Nelk, for instance, runs out of their money, how do you think they get it back?
Howie?
Watch this.
We just lost 15 racks. All right, well,
it's called Howie.
That was a test.
Let's call Howie.
It's called Howie.
He's your own Alpha Beast, the Prime Butterdog, Louie, and the Recep Bellin.
Call Howie off screen. Because that was.
Thanks, Psych.
So they got to call Howie? Well, let's see what Howie's going to do. They just lost 15 racks. If you look at their Bitcoin wallet here, they're sitting at a toasty $0, okay? God damn. Don't worry, guys. Howie comes in clutch. Look at that Bitcoin wallet up top. They're back to playing Crash. Same exact stream that we were watching.
Let's go, Howie.
Damn, boys. You saw it right there. God damn. 15K straight up caught. Just credited to the account. Now, again, we looked at Kyle's, Bitcoin wallet that I guess he showed during this high stakes gambling, extravaganza. And it don't seem like our buddy was just randomly throwing in money. So 15K just being granted out to you. Again, it's not to say that the money is fake. Clearly it's real. But is it the influencers? Is it really gambling if it's, money from the house? Come on now. See, again, people run in with a lot of these conspiracies, but at the same time, when you actually are able to track down somebody's wallet and really look at the lack thereof transactions, no one can really jump on and all of a sudden say, yeah, I was spending my own money. Dude, I looked at the Bitcoin transaction. You're gambling in Bitcoin. You're getting 15K credited to the Bitcoin. It doesn't show you putting any bucks into it yourself. So is it really gambling, or are you just playing with free money while you're goading in random people to jump in and spend their own actual money? It's harmful to your viewer. Doesn't really seem all that harmful to you. Now, let's go back to the Rubet hot wallet, friends.
I want to talk to Howie.
I think I've covered most
Howie,
of
you
what
in the
I
chat?
wanted to mention, but I think it's time to prep us up for the later parts of the series, okay? For instance, we discovered new tools that were actually going to help us actually uncover the money flow that's going between these accounts. Instead of going through it last time where I spent like 20 minutes fuddling around with random, Bitcoin wallet addresses, really just trying to keep you in the loop. If you've noticed one thing in this entire situation is some of these wallets are named. Well, that's because when you make an account on Etherscan or BSC Scan or whatever, you're able to put name tags on various wallets. And the big benefit of this is as we continue our investigations and people are plotted on our map, I guess, of people that we've discovered, wallets that we've uncovered to belong allegedly to certain creators, we can map out transactions from random people. And sometimes you come across some wild shit. Now, in this case, we're going to take the Rubet hot wallet, so OXC94 EBB328, whatever number string after. So we're going to copy this address to the clipboard. What's important here is we're going to use something called explorer.bitcoin.
Yeah, we watched the CoffeeZilla first.
Again, I show you these tools because I don't want you to just take my word for it. I want you to do this yourself.
I'll take your word for it.
So go in here, toss in this address, hit enter, and as you go around, you see all these systems. What's important is Ethereum mainnet.
Subscribe, Shock.
We're going to look at the ETH transactions between the Rubet hot wallet. So if we go to the money flow in this case, and we go to something called Sankey, Sankey simplifies a lot of things and shows us this being the Roobet hot wallet. So you can see where Roobet is getting their money flowed in from, and also where they're flowing a chunk of their money out to. In fact, according to the Sankey, the largest account is OXE6752D54. If you actually open this wallet address up, copy this, and then go to Etherscan, if you go to Etherscan and put this address in, you can see that we've actually titled this as Roobet's biggest whale. Again, what's important here, all right, to really understand, and we found out this is a whale because when you put in Roobet's hot wallet account, which is OXC94EBB328, again, this is OXC94.
I wonder how Nelk and Steve will respond.
Almost a million transactions. This is the wallet
that's the way to win. You just don't, and then people forget.
When I'm depositing money, and then I
they'll just defend you for you,
money, not really depositing.
Like in the chat tonight.
But of course, when I look
just let your community do your job.
Outputting to in the largest quantity is OXE94EBB. Sorry, to OXE6752D54. That's where the Roobet hot wallet is sending the largest amount of Ethereum to. And again, you can go into the system here, you can basically grab this, you can copy the address like this, go back to Etherscan, throw it into the search, and you've seen that we've titled it as Roobet's biggest whale. So again, let's go back and go to the second one, which is OX68DC.
Didn't Steve scrub his YouTube account? Did he? I don't know. I don't watch Steve. Let's see.
Graph.
All right.
Warning.
Oh, he's got 96 videos. He's doing just fine. Look how happy he looks. That's the face of a man who loves Roobet. Buying the guy who killed Osama bin Laden a truck. Nice. Fucking lit.
So again, if we copy this address, we go to Ethereum scan, we paste the same address in there, you can see that now we have Roobet's biggest whale and Roobet's second largest whale. Now, what's really fucking wild in this is where some of these accounts connect to. So one of the examples that we're actually going to be using that actually plays a key role in tying all of this together in part 6, the finale, will be phasebanks.ethereum. Now, phasebanks Ethereum, if you go in, you can type in phasebanks.eth, and this belongs to our buddy FaZe Banks. It's a public-facing wallet, which currently has $207,000 put into it.
Not bad.
Again, you can see that it is phasebanks.ethereum. So it's a wallet that is public, you know.
Can I read that comment real quick? We're just going to let that slide? One guy left a comment on this. Why is there even a comment feature? Who would use this? Ricky G, been a huge fan. Hook me up. Hey, Juliano. I don't think he's going to be doing that. But Godspeed.
You can see that it is phasebanks.ethereum. So it's a wallet that is public. You know, FaZe Banks has said that this is his wallet. Now, if you go to transactions, let's look at who gave FaZe Banks the first chunk of money into his account.
Easy tier 1 lizard.
If you go all the way to the
and
first
Tsukiyomi.
What is that? Roobet's second largest whale. So to understand, Roobet's hot wallet, which is putting the second largest amount of its transactions to the whale here, that's the first transaction that our buddy FaZe Banks gets. Now, what does FaZe Banks do? Again, let's translate this to actual UTC time. He gets this on the February the 25th, right? So around midnight UTC. In less than 20 minutes after receiving money from Roobet's second largest whale, FaZe Banks sends out money to the contract for CryptoPunks. I think that's the actual C token, the contract for it. OpenSea registering, the actual name over here. So then he gets another amount. So Roobet's second largest whale then sends money to FaZe Banks, who in less than 10 minutes later funnels it more into CryptoPunks.
Man, what the fuck?
So, and this isn't small amounts either.
Send something my way. Let's go, Howie.
Was $58,000. Currently,
sending $50K for nothing.
This second transaction is almost fucking double, 62 Ethereum. You click on that shit, and that's almost 100. That's 111 grand on the day of its transaction. Currently, 204,000. Now, why would FaZe Banks receive money money from the second largest whale of Rubets, if you look at the money flow, and then immediately after start purchasing CryptoPunks, and then I don't know. I mean, you know, if you promoted them on Twitter and they messed up in value, like I don't know. It's a weird coincidence. Am I right or am I right? I also love how when I got quipped at on August 23rd by him on Twitter, somehow when you look at his blockchain, he's selling this stuff around that same date, like these same offer punks for sale, offer punk for sale, offer punk for sale. Definitely during its peak mania. I don't know why that is. I mean, if you believe in a project, don't you want to hold on to these beauties? What's also interesting is you can take FaZe Banks' account, OX7D, you can go right back to the actual BitQuery, you can drop that in, and what's actually even more wilder is if you look at the money flow to this account, you look at the sand key, again, to just see where the money is flowing in and out of, ignore this CryptoPunk cyclical ladder. This is OX7D, Banks' wallet. Banks' wallet receives the largest amount from OX68 DCEC.
Howie.
Who the fuck is that? Well,
it's Howie. It's Howie.
OX68 DCEC is again Rubet's second largest
baby.
whale, right? So
Let's go.
Wait a minute. The most money he's getting is from the second largest whale for Rubet? Kind of weird. This account, OXC94EBB, if you take this in, go back to Ethereum scan, drop that in, belongs to the Rubet hot wallet. So the two accounts that give Banks the most money is from the Rubet hot wallet, which again he has a partnership with, but the first transaction is from the account that's the second largest whale. So what Rubet's hot wallet is transacting to, the second largest account, all right, the second largest transaction flow. And also to remember, the second largest whale suspiciously did deposit into the intermediary wallet for Doom 13. Again, could just be the most likeliest of coincidences. From the Rubet hot
I don't really know how
wallet,
Doom 13 fits into this, I'll be honest. Seems like a worthless side character.
CryptoPunks are being bought. Listen, I'm done with this, okay? I'm not going to jump too hard down this rabbit hole yet. Because the reason I mention any of this is these transactions, FaZe Banks' account specifically, not any other account from FaZe, just specifically FaZe Banks and various other users like Alan, because we've ended up tracing down what we believe to be his wallet. These are going to play key roles.
Yeah, there's 6 parts to this, I believe.
This video. The only reason I'm
not out
introducing
yet, though.
them is to really show you how deep
Prime.
and interconnected this all becomes.
Primatsu.
LA, there's something in that water, bucko. There's something over in LA that causes everyone to somehow be involved with one another in ways that you probably shouldn't. But ladies and gentlemen, this is a look at how Rubet was operating. So we wanted to really build a sort of understanding of how Rubet, specifically, you put money into it, how the site in the back end we believe to operate, how these influencers apparently, from what it seems like, aren't actually putting their own money into, in fact, are just playing with house money, while at the same time peddling a vice to their audience, getting them to funnel money in, and basically, I guess, if you looked at the way the affiliate system worked, made money, cream on top of whatever money they're being paid. It's a fucking shady, skeezy business to get into. And then when you look at who these wallet accounts are transacting to and where the money is flowing, then the picture starts to become clear.
And it's a great picture.
Ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to tie this video off and lead you hopefully into the next video done by my good friend CoffeeZilla. So if you want to check this out, go over to his channel. Part 3 will be coming out very shortly after this video. And that part will look further into the sketchy game.
Not soon enough, though. This is a really interesting one because of how much money it is. I think this is, if I could be wrong, I think this is, what, double what CSGO Lotto was? CSGO Lotto, I still believe, is the biggest influencer-led scam. CSGO Lotto, I think, in total was like, what did they get, like 10, 15 million or something? This one's significantly more. These are tier 1 magnets. This was boring. I don't know how people find that boring. I mean, I guess if you really don't care about scams, it's not fun, but I find it so fascinating. I love learning about that shit. I think it's fucking great. Thanks to Prime, Codice. And thanks to Resub Cinder. Well, everyone who was involved in CSGO Lotto is still making content. What do you mean, man? Like I said, people don't care about getting scammed. They don't. You could go back in the VOD and read chat. They don't care about getting scammed. Everyone who got fucked in the ass by CSGO Lotto is still watching those same content creators. Some of them are still streaming on Twitch. Others still on YouTube. Like, I mean, it is what it is, man. Thanks to Resub Van Ray and Nashty. I just like learning about it. Sending a quick text message. Okay, not back. Abdul the Ultimate Haggler. Jesus. Extreme Cheapskates is fake, man. I used to like it, but they just really go over the top. It's not fun anymore. Mac and Cheesy My Way. Haven't we seen that? Thanks to Resub Unreal and the Prime Super Sully. And the bits Maranami Sijatsu and Alamortis. Chess boxing's okay, and yeah, we've seen it. And there's the Prime Justin. And the Tier 1 Ash. Did you hear The Rock's new track? What? The Rock is making music now? Deathloop has a 20-minute speedrun. I'll have to look into that. That actually sounds pretty cool. The Rock really does rap? Okay, let's check it out. Tech 9 Face Off featuring Joey Cool, King ISO, and Dwayne Johnson. I like Tech 9. This seems like a DMCA risk. I thought it was just going to be The Rock. New Phase Banks tweet, he's pissed. Well, what about Steve? I want to learn about Steve. Oh, I'll read Banks' tweet though. I'm curious. This was very interesting. Did you lie to me? Because his last 5 tweets are just about CryptoPunks. He hasn't tweeted in like 2 months. Thanks to Resub Inky Skies and the bits again, Dookie. Thank you, man. The channel for Mac and Cheese My Way is from Paper Cuts. What the fuck is that? Why is that coming up at all? Okay, I don't know what to tell you. How Habbo Hotel turned its players into ruthless teenage capitalists. Habbo Hotel was the best place to do a little trolling. That's a classic. Pools closed and all that. So good. Like, I don't even know what the actual game was. I just remember going on there to fuck with people. And I feel like that's what everyone did. I don't think there was a game there.
Habbo Hotel is a self-described virtual community for teens. At its peak in 2012, it had customers from 150 different countries, had 273 million registered users, and saw 5 million unique visitors every month. Habbo was essentially Club Penguin for teenagers. You could visit places, chat to people, play games, and make your own rooms.
You could play games in here?
There is one thing that dominates all aspects of Habbo life. Coins. Coins could buy you the latest furniture, the nicest clothing, and Habbo Club, a form of premium membership to distinguish you from the peasants. The issue with coins is that they can't be obtained through normal gameplay. You have to buy them with real-life money. This means that coins have actual monetary value, and some players have sold their virtual currency for thousands of dollars. With the prospect to make actual real-life money, Habbo turned from a glorified chat room to a terrifying experiment of anarcho-capitalism done on teenagers and adolescent children.
I didn't remember that.
Anarcho-capitalist
kind of like RuneScape gold selling?
Generally be characterized by 3 main points, and Habbo ticks all of the boxes. 1. Anarcho-capitalist societies are anarchies, which means that there is no central government control. In 2012, Habbo employed 225 moderators worldwide. Now, there are 0 moderators. All of them have been replaced by artificial intelligence, which only serves to censor bad words. The lack of any real moderation has led to the proliferation of scams and illegal casinos throughout the hotel.
Real casinos?
The second characteristic of an
maybe they'll sponsor Steve. We'll do it next.
Capitalism, which by
Aiden Roscoe's on stream. Hey guys, you heard of Habbo Hotel gambling?
Is controlled by private owners for profit rather than the state. Habbo is defined by capitalism. Coins will never be given out by Habbo unless they are purchased. Trading is a key aspect within the game, and it isn't regulated or moderated. And finally, the last characteristic of anarcho-capitalist societies is that they are a
mecca for pedophiles.
Was there a big pedophile problem on Habbo Hotels?
These two conditions have led Habbo to turn into an emulation of a free market capitalistic and materialistic society. Their adolescent and teenage players end up turning into ruthless capitalists in order to survive. New players who join Habbo Hotel start off with 0 coins. The only way for players to get coins are to either pay for them or to get them from someone else. Giveaways are the breadlines of Habbo. In the absence of government, the privatized welfare state steps in. Giveaways are events where rich Habbos donate furniture and coins to peasants in need. You may be tempted to think that this charity is altruism at work. It isn't. This is an example of a giveaway. You may be confused as to why there
are free gift card
giveaway like the ones found in theme parks. This isn't unusual. When there is no regulation or moderation,
I like that this guy's
free to call whatever they want as giveaways.
That's a classic.
In reality, this is a for-profit game. In order to win coins, you first need to roll a 6 in the dice. Next, you need to teleport to one of these green areas, which you have a 33.3% chance of doing.
Pretty good.
Finally, you need to pull a switch, which, assuming is not rigged, has a 50% chance of failure. Assuming you do all of that, you win the grand prize of 1 coin. Now, you could risk it. Pull the second switch, which, assuming is not rigged, has another 50% chance of failure. That would bag you the grand prize of 2 coins. Crunching the numbers, you only have a 2.78% chance of winning 1 coin. The chance of winning the jackpot of 50 coins, that's a 0.022% chance.
I like those
now
odds.
Remember that I mentioned FastPass earlier.
We win those.
In these types of quote-unquote giveaways, the owner usually sells a FastPass, which allows you to skip the long peasant queue and gives you slightly more favourable odds. But like a casino, these odds are stacked against you, and chances are you will not make your money back. And once the owner sells the fast passes for the day, they shut down the giveaway. And they open a new one, under a new name, where you have to buy a new fast pass. No refunds given. But those aren't the only types of giveaways. There are other forms, such as radio giveaways, where players are forced to listen to a radio operated by a fan site.
Hello everyone, this is DJ Danny, and this is HappleQuest.com.
What the fuck is this?
21 minutes of my show left.
Alright.
Quest line, just really fast.
Classic. Yeah.
No request, and...
Oh, come on now. Someone request from Danny.
If you guys can hit that heart button, I will appreciate it so much.
Let's heart that shit. We're live.
The DJ periodically tells the viewers the special keyword that is required before you can collect your duck or whatever the DJ feels like giving to you. This, of course, boosts traffic for the fan site, so they're earning money too. Real life money, that is. Then there are levers giveaways. Levers giveaways are run by rich habbos who are no longer interested in the game. These type of giveaways usually attract the most attention, and these habbos could be extremely generous. Or they could be trolls. In the absence of moderation, there's nothing you can do about it.
Yeah, like who are you gonna call? The Better Business Bureau for Habbo hotel scams? What are you gonna do, nerd?
Dominate every facet of Habbo Hotel. They have a special name: agencies. In return for working in their corporation, you get paid coins. The amount each agency pays differs depending on pay policy, and like corporations in real life, agencies have tried to attract players in many ways.
I don't want to get DMCA'd from fucking Habbo Hotel. Jesus Christ. I didn't know about any of this shit. I just go into a lobby and say like, hey guys, fuck you.
Welcome to the United Nations, the most innovative agency in Habbo Hotel.
We do things differently, starting with getting great pay and rank rewards for work.
But the modus operandi of all agencies are the same. People
Jared.
get paid to recruit others, so let's run it down. First, a new player like you heads up to the front desk to apply for a job. You are given a nice shiny badge, a new motto which displays your rank within the agency, and a hideous uniform. You're then ushered into a training room where your training begins. You're taught to obey commands given to you by higher ranks. Disobedience will not be tolerated and you will be fired for doing so. You were then given a set of rules, like wear your uniform, no coloured chat.
Wait, let me check out these rules real quick. God damn it. Any form of harassment, bullying, or abuse will not be tolerated. Effects are prohibited other than when permitted by the Foundation. Dancing is only permitted in the VIP area of the base. Colored chat is prohibited until you reach 5 IC. Do not ask for pay, promotion, or other benefits. What the fuck am I working there for? Wait, don't ask for pay? What the fuck am I doing working here at the goddamn Men in Black Society? What? What do you mean? Do not double job or self-promote. And always be respectful to yourself and others. What is it? Rule 4? The fuck?
Chat, and never ask for pay or promotions ever. There are no workers' rights in Habbo. There are no trade unions in Habbo.
Yeah, no
there
unions.
There is no safety net or employment protection in Habbo. You are told to comply or be sacked. After that, you are taught how to hire new people and work in the front desk. Help others begin their career in the same way someone started yours.
Why? I can't believe this shit existed. Imagine coming home after a hard day of school and then going to your Habbo Hotel job working the front desk at a fucking pyramid scheme recruitment facility. Well, how is this popular? This is mind-blowing to me. I had no clue. I thought the only thing people used Habbo for was the same shit me and my friends did. We go on there, we go in like one of their like open lobbies, we'll dance and say, fuck you, idiots, as our characters grooving. Like, that's it, you know? I didn't know it went deeper than that.
After that indoctrination session, you are told to begin to recruit new people. As you start pouring hours into working, you begin to be promoted into higher ranks. Higher ranks give you privileges, like working in easier jobs like security or training, or the privilege to stop wearing that hideous uniform, or to be able to use coloured chat. This system of promotions end up cementing your loyalty to the agency and make you spend even more hours in it. Wages can be meagre. Agencies usually advertise that they pay £6
Do we have any retired Habbo
workers? But in reality, the peasants only get paid 1 coin an hour, and pay is only given at certain designated pay times. After getting paid, you're told to continue working and are threatened to get pay banned if you don't follow their pay policy. With such low wages, people begin to work in agencies for hours to even get enough coins for some decent furniture for their rooms. Habbo no longer becomes a game. Instead, it becomes a medium for your daily commute to work in an agency that pays you little and demands your obedience.
You play a game where you're just an abused worker.
1 coin an hour may seem little, but if you're the owner of an agency, having an agency staffed by dozens of workers on minimum wage can still be taxing. So how do agencies make money? The answer lies in power. The obedience demanded by corporations on its workers are no accident. People enjoy telling others what to do. Agencies run on a very simple hierarchical structure, where the owners boss around the directors, who boss around the managers, who boss around the peasants. Rich habos are willing to pay thousands of coins in order to become high-ranking officials, so they can tell the peasants what to do.
So you get to buy your position? Hold on, I want to see the going rates here. So it's not so different after all, eh? This looks like some kind of cult organization here, like a nefarious, evil organization. Like, this logo does not inspire confidence. It immediately makes me think of, like, war crimes. So for an agent rep, which seems to be the lowest on the totem pole here, 3,100 coins. That seems like a lot. Okay, let me look up how much a pack of coins was on Habbo Hotel. Let's see what the coin prices were. For $64, you get 7 coins. No fucking way that's right. What? I must be looking at that wrong. Hold on, that's definitely not reliable. Hold on. I just want to see what, like, the bundle price is. Because that's where the coins came from. You buy them. Like, with real money. I don't see it. Why am I having such a hard time finding this? Is that right in the chat? 45 coins for $5? Oh, Habbo's website is still up. Oh, I can just check here. Oh, this is just club membership. Where's coins? Oh, here we go, here we go. You get 20 credits, which is their coins, for $3. So 630 credits, which is their highest offer, is $75. So $75 for 630, and the lowest position here is 3,100. That's a lot. That's pretty significant. Holy shit. No, it's 3,100, not 31,000. You're misreading it. It's 3,100 coin. So then the top position of 4,500 coin. I'll just do the math. Jesus Christ. I think it's $675 for the first tier. Let me see. Do some basic math here. Yeah. I was wrong. So hold on, let me do all of it. Okay. $375 for the lowest tier, and the highest tier is about 500-ish. So you pay $500 to be a BOE assistant leader, and $375 to be on the lowest end. That's a lot. That's a fucking lot. Exit Prime, Icy, and the resub White Wolf. And they give sub Yoshi. It was are you a survivor of the Habbo agencies? It was structured like a military, and there were pages and pages of guidelines which we had to follow. My God. Well, you're lucky you had the privilege of working here at what is this, Axel or AL?
To pay thousands of coins in order to become high-ranking officials, so they can tell the peasants what to do. Power sells, and the agencies know this. And side note, notice how there are 2 sets of uniforms in this agency. One looks decent, and the other looks like a school PE kit. This is because Habbo's premium membership Habbo Club is needed to wear certain items of clothing. Clothing that doesn't make you look like a complete hobo. Habbo doesn't
That looks like the
just
shit they wear in
allow
the Squid
classism
Game.
within its users. It promotes it. Gambling used to be legal in Habbo. Casinos were a commonplace feature of the game. Pre-2014, the Habbo economy flourished. Rare items were being traded at high prices, which were used to decorate
Paradise.
casinos.
Let's
then
go.
The Danish Ministry of Taxation caught on and told Habbo to stop letting minors spend real-life money on coins to gamble them away, because child gambling is illegal. This prompted Habbo
It's
to
not
own
illegal
ban
anymore,
gambling,
baby.
but shut down Habbo's largest
We
casinos
love that
and
shit
banned
now.
their owners. This single event has been attributed to Habbo's decline. The gambling ban led to the crashing of the stock market. Values of rare items plummeted as they turned out to be pretty much useless for anything other than decorating casinos, and this hit Habbo hard. Revenues from coin sales dropped, and Habbo ended up having to lay off their staff, leading to anarchy. But with the sacking of moderators, the underground casinos rose. People began to gamble the same way they did back in 2014. But with the gambling ban, Habbo instituted certain restrictions. You could no longer place more than 3 dice in a room. So people came up with ingenious solutions to overcome this ban. In the past, people played blackjack and poker with a set of 5 dice, but it's possible to adapt the game so it only requires 3. Furthermore, you can set it so that the room only has 3 dice, and that the dealers of the casino would simply share the dice around. Another solution people came up with was wired. Wired furniture was the redstone of Habbo. Wired took an input, and if certain conditions were met, gave an output. This allowed players to program things in their room and make impressive
The Green Bay
things
Packers
such as
gambling in
automatic
here?
games. People used Wired to make random number generators which acted as dice. These pseudo-dice allowed casino owners to circumvent the dice ban. However, the issue with Wired is that only the owner of the room and those with special permissions granted by the owner could view its contents. It is possible to rig anything that involves Wired. There have been countless stories of opportunistic casino owners rigging their pseudo-dice in their favour. Habbo's casino ban inadvertently led to the explosion of con games and scams. Casinos are still by far the most profitable venture of Habbo Hotel, but not necessarily the way you think it is. Sometimes the admins of Habbo log in. In the absence of moderators, casinos operate in broad daylight, but periodically casinos have been shut down by these admins and got their owners banned. So owning a casino is still a risky venture that few dare risk. Casino owners would sell dealer memberships at a high price, usually for hundreds of coins if not thousands. Usually owners would sell multiple tiers of memberships, with the dice sharing membership usually incurring a premium fee since in-game dice can't be rigged. Casino owners could sell hundreds of these memberships, and it isn't unusual to hear them earn tens of thousands and hundreds of thousands of coins by selling them. That's equivalent to tens of thousands of US dollars. The risks outweigh the benefits. With no real moderation and a currency backed with real-life money, it is easy to see how Habbo turned into a virtual experiment of unregulated capitalism. Many players of the game are teenagers, and a sizable proportion of players are adolescent children. Most of them don't have a background in economics, yet the conditions of the game led to the emergence.
But now they know how to gamble, and that's important.
In such a harsh environment, some chose to quit. Others decided to make their own communities, a much fairer one than the one Habbo offers. But that's a story for another time.
Exit Prime Azure. That was very interesting. I didn't know any of that about Habbo. How I made $200 daily playing Habbo Hotel. Oh my god. How the teenage players of Habbo Hotel turned to financial crime. Oh my god, how deep does it go? Okay, let me do this one first, and then I want to see this one. This is from the same guy, so I'm imagining this is a follow-up to this one, because it's more recent. I want to see this one first, though.
When you hear Habbo Hotel, you probably think about autistic kids role-playing, pedophiles hunting them.
Habbo Hotel.
Oh yeah, he never touched on the pedophiles in the last one.
And 4chan raids. Or maybe Quackity. I myself think about the game's economy. The currency in Habbo is not obtainable through gameplay. You must purchase it with real money. Habbo is basically the grandfather of microtransactions. They knew how to scam kids and boy did they do it. Just listen to the lyrics in their latest promo video. It's basically subliminal messaging.
Is this gonna be DMCA? That is pretty on the nose.
I remember reading in the newspaper about parents put in debt because their kids use the home phone to buy Habbo coins for tens of thousands of dollars. And obviously with the currency only being purchasable with real money, it had quite high real world trading value. Even today 1,000 coins is worth about $70. That's a lot better than some countries. In a game like that you could not trust anyone. There was no contact, but to become wealthier, friends you knew for years would scam you if you gave them the opportunity. So how does one make money on Habbo, you ask? Well, there is obviously trading. Some of the furnitures on Habbo are worth up to thousands of dollars, so if you knew what you were doing you could turn a profit like that. You could also swap money between Habbo and RuneScape with favorable ratios.
Really?
Like buying 11 million RuneScape GP for 50 Habbo coins.
Is that deal still on the table? That's an incredible rate for gold on RuneScape. So we just looked it up. 50 Habbo coins was what? It was like, I think it was like, what, $5? $5 or $6? You get 11 mil for it? That's some crazy real world trading ratios. Oh man.
And then selling 10 million RuneScape GP for 50 Habbo coins. But the biggest earners were gambling and scamming. The most common way of gambling is dice games. The player trades a bet to the host, who then trades twice the amount back.
That's, hold on, someone's correcting me. That's normal real world trade price. I haven't kept up on real world trading scams and all that recently. What is the going rate of gold all of a sudden? Let me see. LSRS. There's so many gold sellers. I can probably just type in gold seller. Let me see. God, every single one of these has an ad next to it, so I know it's a fucking scam. Jesus Christ. It's a little less than $1 per mil. 65 cents per mil. At least on that one. So no, it looks like the Habbo ratios were a little more favorable. What's wrong with ads? I don't trust it. When you go on Google and the first 3 or 4 results have ad next to it, I really think that they're all malware. Because anyone can pay for that to go right to the top. And I distinctly remember, I don't remember what software it was. It might have actually even been LimeWire, honestly. But I got a rough virus from clicking on one of the ads to download the software. Like, so anyone can put Trojans and shit, those kind of awful websites on there on like the first 3 results with ads. So I never trust it. I never click that. I just scroll beyond it.
If a player wins. But there was no rules on Habbo against scamming. The host could basically just ban you from his room and keep the bet if he lost. If a player were to report such an incident, he would just be told that you should not trust other people with your items and that gambling is bad. To counter this issue,
I don't know why I keep pausing this to read some dumb shit. You peddle ads all the time from the same company, hypocrite. Are you stupid? Like, have you ever used Google? Or do you have like a parental lock on your computer? So if you go to Google, here, I bet RuneLite still has this. There used to be a, no, they took it down. When you went to Google and did RuneLite, the first thing had an ad there and it was a virus. What's something else that always has ads at the top of a Google search? You have ad block on? No, it doesn't get rid of this. Give me something else. How about this? Crypto casino. This shit. When it has ad. I don't know how dumb you are to think that like a Twitch ad is the same as this. Like, even just looking at the names of these websites, bigtimeslotgames.com, myjackpot, and Happy Bets. Anyone can pay for this position here, and it can be viruses, and it's happened many, many times.
The richest players got together to make huge casinos, where they would sell dealership position to players, which would then be removed if the dealer were to scam someone. Gold dealership would, for example, cost 600 coins, which would give the player sort of an insurance that he's okay to take a bet up to 600 coins. But just like in real life, the richest players were the last people you should trust. Every month or two we would close down casinos and drive the gambling community towards our new casino, hosted under a different name, to keep selling dealership positions over and over. This gold badge has 486 members.
Wow.
486 members paying 600 coins is 291,600 coins.
Holy
if 1,000
shit.
is $70, then that gives us $20,000. Imagine doing that a few times.
Not bad.
Another way to earn was the Banzai teleport scam. This item will randomly teleport you to any other Banzai teleports in the room. Here I have 9 teleports. I placed 4 gold coins, which is worth 10 coins. I placed 1 silver coin, which is worth 5 coins. And the rest of
DMCA? Why would this be DMCA? It's just the instrumental track. Why people keep saying DMCA? I can't imagine that the instrumental would be a problem. Right?
of them are empty. One go costs 5 coins. In theory, landing on each one would take me 9 attempts.
Thanks, Doug
which
Trio.
would
Thanks
cost
for the
me
huge
45 coins. And there are 45 coins placed on the teleports. So that will give this game a 50% win-lose ratio. After 10 attempts, I want 60 coins. But what not everyone knows is that you can stack multiple teleports on top of each other. After placing a few more teleports on the empty slots, your odds starts to look a lot worse. There are also what we called coin grabbers. These are basically a visual scam, a real sucker's bet if you will. What you would do is roll 2 dices, and the dices would act like coordinates, so 3 plus 3 would be a win, but rolling a 4 or above on either dice is a loss. Kids would view this as only half the numbers are gone, but in reality only 9 out of 36 possible outcomes is a win. In Habbo there are items called
These are good
These
scams.
just
Holy
like
shit.
triggers in the Warcraft 3 editor, if you are familiar with it. So for example, by using trigger, user walks on Fernie, and effect, teleport to Fernie, I can create a teleport. With words I managed to create a functional card deck inside Habbo. Blue 10s are kings, yellow 10s are queens, green 10s are jacks, and blue 1s are aces. Using this I hosted a blackjack table. The left lever pulls a card, while the right one resets them all. So basically I draw 1 for player, 1 for myself, and another 1 for the player. Let's say player sticks at 15, I draw a second card.
This is so fucking deep! Jesus Christ!
But my blackjack table had a catch. I added chat commands using Swedish letters to draw myself 10 and ace on demand, and chat commands are only visible to the user.
Whoa, that's so
again
smart.
I draw 1 for player, 1 for the dealer, and another 1 for the player. Player sticks at 20. I draw myself ace and house wins. This blackjack table was originally introduced on Habbo by me, and boy was
We've
it
got a
profitable.
pioneer here.
These are just a few examples of ways we got rich on Habbo. There was a lot of money to be made selling the profits on forums and playerauctions.com. But you don't need to take my word for it. Take the famous player Fish for example, who quit Habbo in 2013. After selling all his belongings he ended up with $55,000. And he was by no means the richest player on Habbo. You might think what we did was immoral, but honestly everyone else was out to scam you on Habbo anyway, and we were just kids. If you think RuneScape have a large amount of scammers and lurers, you don't even know the half of it. If anything, this game taught me valuable life lessons. I learned to barter, I learned many of the red flags of someone trying to trick you, and I learned to never gamble. Because remember kids, the house always wins. Now you're probably asking yourself,
crazy.
If you can still do this today 2018. I'm sorry to disappoint, but this was not meant to be a tutorial, but rather a trip down memory lane.
And
Gambling was banned back in 2014. so Habbo could get a child-friendly rating on the App Store. There is still gambling going on, but the scene is really dead, and all the gamblers are using
really dead. Look at her busting it out.
Band, so there is a
fucking
high
going
risk
wild.
of getting scammed. Habbo is 18 years old and on its last legs anyway, unless you're Brazilian. The Brazilian server is bigger than the international one nowadays for some reason. Earlier this year 60% of Sulak's shares got sold to Orange Games. And they also released a new game called Hotel Hideaway, so the end is near. That's all for today. I hope you enjoyed this video. Farewell.
That was so fucking cool. I had no idea about any of this shit. Habbo seems awesome. Holy lord. I can't believe I never got scammed on Habbo. I never cared about coins or anything because to me, like I said, to me and my friends, it was just going on there to mess with people. I wish I got into it though. I always got scammed on RuneScape and scammed on RuneScape. I remember a buddy of mine on RuneScape, I already told this, buddy of mine on RuneScape used to do a lot of trade scams back when you could do that, swapping armor out. Used to make so much off that. Nowadays, are there any modern games where scams are prevalent? I feel like no one scams anymore. Like, does New World have any scams? Like the Prime Hawk. I've already seen the pool's closed from Internet Historian. Pool's closed is Internet History. Roblox? Roblox has... Oh, Roblox probably has a lot of scams, actually, now that I think about it. It's called crypto now. I meant games. People are begging to be scammed, like, every day in the real world. I'm talking about, like, games. EVE Online always has some incredible stuff. Yeah, EVE, Roblox. I don't know why people are mentioning Rocket League. What scams exist in Rocket League? How can a player scam you there? Like selling their account or something? Thanks to give sub Queen of Games. Oh, CSGO. CSGO definitely has a fair share of scams with like lottery sites and all that. Item trading. Okay, so there's still a few. Okay, now let's watch this one. Actually, let me fill up my water before we do this one. This one's 50 minutes. But I'm too deep now. I've got to see financial crime from Habbo. I'm already like an hour into Habbo research. I'm expecting the cartel to be operating some kind of business here now. So I'm excited. Just give me 1 second though. I'm back. Thanks to the resub Mortified. And the Prime, the Maniac. Okay.
Habbo Hotel is an online multiplayer game aimed primarily at teenagers. The game allows you to explore rooms, chat with other players, and make your own creations. But most importantly, it allows you to trade. As Habbo's monetization model relies on the purchase of virtual coins, it is in Habbo's interest to generate demand for their currency. And over the past 20 years, Habbo has meticulously crafted an ultra-consumerist environment to facilitate this demand.
Hey, what the fuck is this? The prices have gone up. We checked earlier. It was 630 credits for 75 bucks. What kind of nonsense is this?
In my previous video. But what happens if people don't want to pay for coins? What happens when people get fed up of waiting in privatized red queues, working in drab corporate jobs, or selling their personal details away in dodgy survey sites? Well, they turn to crime. Over the past 6 months, I've talked to dozens of players to explore the topic of financial crime, logging over 200 pages of interview transcripts, reading the relevant academic literature on the topic, and even catching people in the act. In this video essay, I will explore how financial crime has evolved over time, how Habbo chooses to
Dude's like the Batman of Habbo Hotel.
And finally give you a personal note. I hope you enjoy.
He's a tier 1 assassin in the resub Dino, the bit scrub lord.
Back in the early 2000s, the internet was the new frontier of technology, and being new and unfamiliar, it was basically the Wild West. Habbo Hotel was a game birthed during this era, and being an innovative new game, it was rather broken. Scripters were players who basically hacked the game using exploits. They manipulated code within the game. While some scripters did it merely for fun, such as allowing themselves to decorate their rooms better, others decided to give themselves endless amounts of coins.
Whoa, what the fuck is this?
This was also a time when internet security wasn't much of a thing. For example, it has been alleged that one of the richest players in UK Habbo obtained their wealth through one of the largest hacking conspiracies in the game's history. I would like to point out that I was unable to cross-reference this claim. I'd like to tell you the story anyways, as it helps illustrate a point. Back in 2002, Ione, who was serving as the UK's hotel manager, gave each player who logged in during her birthday a special gift. Each gift contained one of 3 items: a throne, a Russian samovar, or a holoboy.
Wow, nice goodie bag.
These items would be known as the Ione gifts, and they would end up being highly sought after. The throne, in particular, would continue to dominate the market for generations, and its contemporary value sits around 600 coins.
Why was she so special?
$48 at black market rates. Now, let's move forward to 2006. The player made a realization. Most of the recipients of the Ione gifts, the players of 2001 and 2002, were most likely to have moved on from Habbo and would have left their accounts abandoned 4 years later. And so, allegedly, they began to conduct brute force attacks against vast swathes of abandoned accounts, helpfully aided by Habbo itself, which decides to publicly display when users have last logged in. These brute forcing attempts were also helped by the fact that back in the day, there were no password requirements. As such, someone could literally set their password as 123456 or password. And in the age where internet security wasn't as prevalent, you can guess what people set their password as. By spamming thousands of username and password combinations, they were able to crack account after account, taking both the account and the Ione gift that came with it. And being the enterprising hacker that they were, they didn't let the hacked accounts go to waste. Some of these accounts had so-called rare names, usernames which were highly sought after, and players were willing to pay a high price for them. It was claimed that the operation was so profitable that they had to subcontract their work to others to hack accounts for them. Habbo eventually caught on to these brute force attacks, and soon required users to log in with their emails as opposed to their usernames, and it also started implementing password requirements. Old-fashioned hacking was being clamped down, and scripting was pushed more and more into obscurity. Enterprising criminals, for the most part, couldn't rely on exploiting Habo's instability or flaws to get rich anymore. There were clearly successful attempts, such as in 2017, when two players exploited a hole which allowed them to generate millions of coins. But these hacks against Habbo itself became rarer, so criminals had to find another way. But don't underestimate
on the front lines of controversy
and their desire
and crime
to obtain virtual currency. Scams have been ubiquitous in the world of Habbo. Being scammed is such an ingrained experience of Habbo that it acts almost like a rites of passage. Unlike
I
the
never
hacker,
got
which
scammed. I wish I did.
technical expertise, the scammer
I didn't get the full
utilizes
experience.
confidence and charisma. Habbo has an entire page cataloging many common scams on their website, but this video would be a lot longer if we tried to cover every single scam. Back when people still logged in with their usernames, password scams were fairly common. For example, a scammer might say, "Oh look, Habbo censors your password." The victim would
that was a RuneScape
type their
scam.
password.
Did it come from
The
Habbo?
scammer would log into the victim's account and change their login details. If the scammer
I don't think it ever
they
worked
could tell
though.
the victim to type their password and press Ctrl M instead. In the past, Ctrl M acted the same way as the enter button. Habbo has now since patched this. Another low-effort scam involved the scammer claiming
I don't think that
they
ever
had
fucking
special
worked.
hacking tools to duplicate
I refuse to
furniture or
believe anyone was that dumb,
All the victim
even as a
had to do
kid.
was hand over their coins to the scammer. Then the scammer runs away with the money. This scam happened so often, a counter-scam was developed where someone would pretend to be a skeptical yet naive victim. The victim would claim that they were going to give one coin to the scammer as a test to see whether the scammer is legit. If the scammer could double the victim's money, they would hand over a larger sum.
This is all RuneScape
Sensing blood
scams.
in the water, the scammer would pretend to double the victim's money and hand over 2 coins. The victim would then run away. As time moved on,
Oh
players
my
generally
God.
became more clued up to these rudimentary low-effort scams. The decline of these low-effort scams were also due
Use
in
some
part to the
Kalakin.
efforts by moderators, when they existed back then, who would ban anyone who tried to claim that they can duplicate furniture or coins. And so, scams became more sophisticated. Falling Furniture FF is a game hosted on Habbo, and it's sort of like musical chairs. The host would place
This game
down
looks
chairs
fucking
and people
lit.
would rush to sit on them.
You just go and
The
sit
last
on a
remaining
toilet
person
seat.
to not get a seat gets eliminated from the round, and the cycle repeats until a winner is produced. In the past, hosts would ask the loser whether they wish to pay to stay, pay for revenge, or leave the game.
Pay for
This
revenge?
choice is commonly referred to as P2S,
What does that mean?
Rev, or Kick. Pay to stay allows the player to
What
stay in the
revenge?
game,
They get to, like,
effectively
execute
doing
someone?
a rerun of that round. Usually the cost of pay to stay is 1 coin or its furniture equivalent. Revenge, on the other hand, allows the player to pick someone else to lose that round. This bizarre mechanic
What?
essentially meant that any player could effectively pay to kick a player they did not like. Because it was a much more powerful option,
That's
the
genius.
price of revenge
Actually
is
genius.
usually higher, around 2 to 3 coins. Now here's the catch. When someone is a victim of revenge, they don't immediately get kicked out. Instead, they're given a choice to pay to stay, pay for revenge, or to leave the game.
This is so
has
smart.
led to the phenomenon of rev
Kids would
which is when
absolutely
2
do that out of
people
spite.
battle it out by revving each other. And by revving each other, I mean one person pays the host coins, and then the other pays the host coins, and then you're starting to see how profitable rev wars can be. Scammers, however, began exploiting this business
Thanks for
model,
some boop
and
and
here's
Twitch
how you do
Ninja.
it. Step 1. Hire a scamming buddy. This person will be your partner in
Oh,
crime.
that'll do it,
If you
Supra.
were
Thanks for your
proficient
sub,
enough
Dizzy.
to play with 2 accounts at once, you could also use an alt account. Step 2. Advertise a lavish game. If you want to pull people in, you want to make sure that you have a large prize. The larger the prize, the more willing people will be to spend money on P2S and revs for a chance to win a prize. Step 3. Make your partner the winner. If your partner is the winner, you can pretend to give them a prize without actually giving them anything. It would give the illusion that you are a trustworthy host and you are able to bag any P2S and rev money as profit. But how do you reach this stage? Well, if your partner ends up losing a round, they can just rev someone. They don't actually have to pay you anything, they only pretend to pay you something. If they choose a particularly wealthy victim, they could even start a rev war. A rev war that your partner
That's
can't
so
possibly lose.
Smart. What? I'm blown away right now. an actual revenge loop, and then a scam on top of the scam where you get someone to go in with you that pretends to be like revving a rich player. So that way the rich player revs them back, and it just goes on and on and on until the rich player runs out of money, and you just say that your friend won. Genius. How? No way kids came up with this. This was absolutely the work of like fucking Bernie Madoff or something. Like he was in here running Habbo scams. There's just no like the fucking Penguin from Gotham was in this bitch. Like this is so actually smart. And also to the person, I saw you mention that you lost your account because you gave someone your password on RuneScape. I did the same shit, kind of. When I was a kid, I had an account called Strong Wolfo. It was my main on RuneScape, or like one of my 5 mains back then. And my password was Wolfo. And one guy was teasing me. He's like, I bet your password's fucking weak. And I'm like, no, it's actually really strong. I got a really cool password. He's like, no, you fucking don't. And I was like, yeah, I do. And he's like, oh, well, what is it? And I was like, it's Wolfo. There goes the account. Yeah, so I definitely would have fallen for scams 100%. But the one that I always knew I would never do is like the Jagex censors your password. I never thought anyone would fall for that.
At the end of the day, you count up your profits and split half to your partner in crime. Or you could just ban them and keep all of the profits. Pay-to-stay scams in their day were one of the most lucrative scams on Habbo, and arguably the key to its success was the fact that it was much more sophisticated. Unlike the I can double your money or give me your password scams,
what you fell for is worse. Yeah, it was. I agree. I got the account back.
That they were working in concert with someone else.
I didn't lose it forever, but
transaction logs
that did give me a scare.
Trades actually happened, which altogether led to many of the pay-to-stay scammers not being dealt with. In the end, pay-to-stay as a concept phased out. It is commonly believed that pay-to-stay is now a banned practice in Habbo, something that also followed the gambling ban back in 2014, but I was unable to verify that this was true. On the contrary, according to the official Habbo help page, pay-to-stay and rev is seemingly allowed. Whatever the case, its long-standing connotation of being an outright scam makes it no longer a widespread practice. Another sophisticated scam is the fake buyer scam. To give some context, Habbo's economy is very reliant on merchanting, which is the practice of buying furniture at a low price and selling that furniture at a higher price for profit.
Big in RuneScape too. So much similarity.
At their shops waiting for customers to buy their goods, and then spend more hours scouring other shops owned by other Habbos to buy more items.
Thanks, hey Carl.
Then they would
good to
sell
see you, man. Hope you're doing well.
acquired items at a markup to get more money to
Thanks
buy
for the
more items to sell. What was I even doing with my life? The fake buyer scam specifically targeted merchants, and this is how it's done. Step 1. Obtain furniture. These pieces of furniture must be disposable.
Fucking banging furniture in
you
here.
want a piece of
Santa's
furniture
sleigh.
that most people will not have, and one that is cheap for you to buy. An example furniture that you could use for this scam are these red pixel furnitures. Most new players haven't seen it before, and if you know where to look for it, you can easily buy 10 for 1 coin. Step 2. Get yourself an alt account. You could also employ a scamming partner, but it's completely unnecessary, and also you banned them. Step 3. Enter the shop with your alt account. This is the fake buyer. Pretend to browse around with your alt account, maybe make some small talk with the shop owner. If you're feeling daring, you could even try and buy something to establish a relationship. Step 4. Plant the seed. Ah yes, I was wondering if you had any red pixel furniture by any chance. Chances are, if the shop owner did not display the red furniture in their shop, they probably wouldn't.
20 coins for information?
Well, if you do find any red furniture, please contact me as soon as possible. You add them to your friend list and then mention something along the lines of, I'm willing to pay 20 coins for every piece of red furniture that you have. Now that you've planted the seed in their head, they'll be actively on the lookout for this mysterious red furniture.
And they'll go to your friend's shop or your main account.
You don't want to attract or arouse suspicion, so you arrive sometime later.
Oh, actually, yeah, you just bring the account there.
That has your disposable furniture.
Oh, fuck, yeah,
Again,
it makes sense.
You browse the shop, establishing a relationship
Cuts out the
with
middleman.
shop owner. Then you inquire, do you buy furniture by any chance? If they don't, ask whether they want to trade. chances are a shop owner would be somewhat interested by your proposition. And so, step 6. Make the hard sell. Tell the owner that you're selling rare items like, oh, I don't know, this red pixel furniture that you just so happen to have. By offering to sell it at a much lower price than what the fake buyer is offering, like 10 coins, you create an almost irresistible opportunity.
Genius! Fucking genius!
And that's how
these are the smartest kids in the world!
A piece of furniture that was only worth
God damn!
The emergence of these more sophisticated and complex scams
little baby geniuses out here.
The art of scamming and an evolution of financial crime as a whole. As the players of Habbo get progressively smarter and more informed about scams, scam artists find themselves having to resort to greater lengths to part you from your money. But scams aren't the only forms of financial crime on Habbo Hotel. With corporations playing an increasingly larger role in Habbo over the past few years, some players have spotted a new opportunity on the horizon.
Corporate corruption.
In
Jesus
November
Christ.
2017, Cess, also known as May,
I'm excited.
to the highest office of the Habbo White House.
Turns out, like, Nintendo's got a sect in here scamming kids.
The organization's history, as she became the White House's first female president. Meanwhile, Infernum, also known as Craig, was packing his bags. Having served his 2-month term, he was now the outgoing president.
This lore is wild.
Following the footsteps of 14 previous presidents, he now bore responsibility to pass the keys of the presidency to his successor. This democratic transition of power is the cornerstone of the Habbo White House. Rarely do
Tier 1
agencies
McMuffin.
or corporations hold elections for their highest office. And so, as the keys of power were being handed over, a fact transpired. The treasury account was empty. Most corporations had a special treasury account. Any donations or profits earned from sales would be stored in this account. Treasury accounts meant that multiple trusted people could do transactions on the organization's
Your
behalf.
fucking secret agent assassin bodyguard sleeping on the job. Fire him.
It also led to the problem of $400 worth of coins being embezzled from the treasury with no obvious culprit. An inquiry was quickly held and soon fingers were pointed at both Cess and Infernum. The heist was done in perfect timing. The transition period between presidencies meant that both Cess and Infernum had access to the treasury account at the same time. The inquiry went cold, and the culprit was never found. The rise in corporate crime is a more recent phenomenon. As corporations play a much more significant role in the day-to-day lives of players, they present greater and more audacious opportunities for any would-be criminals.
What do they do? I don't understand. Like, what do the corporations do? This actually just looks like some Heaven's Gate shit. Like, everyone's glowing over here, like they're about to go Super Saiyan. Beastly tuxedos talking about Sugar Mama Lauren, like, and here's the dog. What do the corporations actually accomplish in the game? How are they generating money? We saw in the last video he did that they make money by hiring people to boss people around, so they literally get people to pay for a power trip. But he's saying corporations play a role in the day-to-day activities of the community. And I don't really see how. From everything we've learned about the corporations so far in the last 3 videos.
Exploit. As for our story, the Habbo White House learnt its lesson and reformed the Treasury to prevent future presidents from embezzling funds. One of these reforms was to put the hands of the Treasury account to one single trustee, chosen from an elected board. That way, only one person could access the account. If anything went missing, it was clear who the culprit was. With these reforms in place, the White House had to start over, and through donation drives and sales, they managed to rebuild the Treasury. All in all, they managed to reaccumulate $450 worth of coins and rares. And these treasury reforms ended up working. For 1 year, when in 2018, a trustee called Jess emptied out the entire treasury account after the White House tried to impeach her.
She looks like a pirate. Like, why? What was the hiring process like here? I could tell you if I was on the board of trustees and I was vetting for the next person to handle my treasury in Habbo, I would not pick this person. They look like a fucking criminal. 100%. We're talking big fucking bucks here. Some huge noodles. I'm not gonna risk it with someone who comes in here with a goddamn eye patch. It's unreal. It's like they didn't even try.
For allegedly working for the Habbo Mafia. Of course, embezzlement and
the Habbo
corruption
Mafia,
doesn't just happen
Sounds
in
about
the
right.
Habbo White House. But with so many careers, livelihoods, and money on the line, many people who I approached simply did not want to talk about this topic. A high-ranking official of one of Habo's largest corporations eventually decided to talk to me under the strict condition of anonymity. In our interview, they made explosive allegations against their corporate founder. They claimed the founder would regularly use the treasury as their personal bank account, withdrawing thousands of coins at a time to sell in the black market to quote-unquote fuel their clubbing habit. In fact, the embezzlement of corporate funds was done so frequently, the board of directors actively fabricate numbers in their spreadsheet and
They have a spreadsheet? A Habbo Hotel Corporation treasury spreadsheet of their coins to in-game dollars. And they also have an accountant cooking the books. There's no way these are real numbers, right? From Habbo Hotel coins? Like, this can't be fucking right. 236,000 US dollars for Habbo Hotel coins? I must be misunderstanding this, I think. There's no fucking way. Yeah, is there a Habbo Hotel IRS? Thanks to Tier 1 Mr. Toxic and the Prime Gav and the Resub Jam and the Prime Rezi. I helped run the biggest underground casino on Habbo. If you want some solid information, hit me up, brother. Yeah, what were you pulling in monthly? Like, I imagine if these are like actual sensible numbers that people were making from Habbo Hotel coins and selling them, or is this just like if they sold them, what the total could be, like under ideal circumstances? Like, how often were you able to flip coins in Habbo Hotel to actual USD? I can't imagine it was a booming market where everyone was buying all the time. Like, I don't know. There's no way. These numbers have to be. I have to be misunderstanding these.
To report the revenue earned to their founder to prevent them from literally sinking the company into debt. In another claim, one of the founder's deputies managed to achieve their high rank by regularly sending gifts to the founder. Over the course of a few years, an estimated total of $3,000 worth of gifts were given by this deputy.
That's all?
This deputy is the second
compared to what we
highest
just saw?
official of the corporation. And, in order to dominate the market further, the founder was even alleged to have tried to create a second corporation. Pouring thousands of coins worth of investment into it, their intention was to monopolize the entire agency by falsifying the illusion of choice. Workers of said corporation would think that they were working for a rival company, when in fact it was staffed by the same administration, just with alt accounts. If successful, the founder would operate 2 profitable corporations, doubling their intake.
Holy
10
shit.
people showed up to its
So
opening
smart.
ceremony, and the project was scrapped 3 weeks later.
Oh.
When I asked
Unfortunately
another
not smart.
high-ranking official of the same corporation to comment on these allegations, they disputed the claims. The founder does not take money from us unless necessary, said the official. They insisted that revenue earned was reinvested back into the corporation.
Yeah, it's crazy,
The
K-Mon.
dig into the company's finances revealed that in 2019, the company's annual turnover was approximately 300,000 credits. That is equivalent to 20,000 US dollars if the
Okay,
coins were sold.
I think this helped illustrate it. This is not US dollars that they're pulling in, it's coins. Okay, that makes so much more sense. It's still a lot of money, obviously, as evident here. But it's coins, not 254,000 US dollars. 254,000 coins.
Sold at black market rates. A vast majority of the corporation's revenue came from rank sales, which is where
Thanks
an
to give some
employee
Tinder.
would pay to get a higher rank. Other streams of revenue include selling VIP and special visitor passes, which give privileges to rich people that can afford them. Of that revenue, approximately 70% was spent on wages, totaling up to $16,800 worth of coins. The high-ranking officials that I was talking to also get a slice in the form of commission when they successfully make a sale. On average,
Man, what
each
the
of these
fuck is
officials
Habbo
make
Hotel?
2,000 credits annually, or
I
$160.
never experienced any of
The
this.
last 20% is the founder's profit,
This is
also
incredible.
known as a reinvestment fund, which totals up to 60,000 credits, or $4,800. With corporations presenting such lucrative pay for those at the top, it is no longer a mystery why so few want to blow the whistle.
Oh my god. Quick text message.
Angelic is no stranger to scams. Having been twice a victim, she lost all of her furniture and coins. In total, she bought over $130 worth of virtual goods legitimately on Habbo Hotel.
Oh, you idiot.
But when she
Going
tried to
legit in
contact Habbo to
Habbo?
help, Habbo simply told her that she couldn't recover her stolen items that she paid for. This is in line with Habbo's policy and terms of service. Habbo defines their virtual currency and goods not as property but as part of the gameplay experience. Or, as Habbo puts it, you have no interest, including no property, proprietary, intellectual property, ownership or monetary interest in your virtual currency and virtual goods, which remain our content and property.
Pretty hardline
stance.
This
effectively means that you don't enjoy the same protections with virtual property as you do with real property, because under the Habbo terms of service, your coins and your furniture aren't even your property. They belong to Habbo, and Habbo could theoretically do whatever it wants with it. The question of whether these terms of service are legally enforceable is a rather murky question.
There's Tier 1 Creek and the resub Elijah.
But internationally, there is a trend where countries are beginning to recognize that virtual property deserves the same protection. In one notable case in 2003, hackers gained access to a player's account and stole $1,200 worth of virtual items. A Beijing court found Optic Ice, the developers of the game, liable for the loss suffered by the player and was forced to reimburse the lost property.
That's great.
In that case, the game publishers argued that virtual items are merely a pile of data and could not constitute a thing that could be stolen under Chinese law. The rejection of this interpretation led China to become one of the first countries to recognize that virtual property is entitled to the same legal protections as other forms of property. Furthermore, Arctic Ice also argued that the player agreed to the terms of service, which stated that the security of a player's account is their own responsibility, and by extension, the player is responsible if their stuff gets stolen. This echoes Habbo policy, which describes being a victim of a scam as user error, and Habbo states that it does not allow for reimbursement for quote-unquote.
Damn, they're good. I feel like Habbo Hotel was scamming people on the low too. They were in the thick of it, running casinos.
This argument.
The higher ups.
Other countries adopt a similar legal interpretation. Habbo's policy may not actually be legally enforceable. In a more recent case in 2012, the Dutch Supreme Court followed suit and held that virtual items can be considered goods which can be stolen. The argument that
this is crazy. Taking a virtual object in RuneScape is now being labeled as legitimate theft. If I was... Actually, this is 2012. I would have stopped scamming by this point. Imagine I went to a Dutch prison or something. I get fucking deported from scamming people in RuneScape. Holy shit. Well, this is also an extremely intense case. Took the 13-year-old victim to the home of the co-defendant, where they assaulted and threatened the victim with knives to coerce him into logging into his RuneScape account, and then dropped the objects in the game environment. Jesus Christ. Thanks to the resub slammed.
Virtual goods were mere bits and bytes was rejected. Putting legality aside, however, Habbo is entirely within their power to reimburse victims of financial crime. In the terms of service, Habbo writes that they reserve the absolute right at any time in our sole discretion to manage, regulate, control, modify, or eliminate virtual currency and or virtual goods. Habbo actively refuses to do this, instead choosing to blame the victim of a crime by calling it user error. When I tried to contact Sulake, the company that owns Habbo, on why they operate such a policy, they did not respond to my request for comment. I'm not the first person to have highlighted the issues of Habbo's opaque policies. 7 years ago, in 2013, 2 professors wrote that the players of Habbo are learning to be diligent consumers, buying virtual products that will help to construct their identities and relationships, in a context where everything they produce and everything they appear to possess is in fact owned by a company that remains largely unaccountable for its business practices. The professors claim that children are the primary consumers of Habbo. According to a survey done in 2004, 75% of players on Habbo were between 10 to 14 years old. Unlike adult consumers, however, children tend to have less resources to defend themselves against unfair business practices.
And whose fault is that?
In many cases,
being a child is cringe. Just be an adult, dummy.
Wrote the professors.
Defend yourself in court.
What they regard as injustice by insulting or threatening either the company or the individual moderators. Others develop plans to bankrupt Habbo Hotel by creating illegal replicas. Some Hispanic players felt so shafted by Habbo's business practices, they even formed the Habbo Revolutionary Union. Depressingly, these issues were highlighted 7 years ago.
What?
And in the past 7 years, nothing has changed. Angelic's tale isn't just one tragic story of someone getting their virtual goods stolen, it is a tale repeated over and over again, a tale Habbo has been accustomed to, and one where Habbo in every case chooses not to act. In fairness, there is a case to be made in Habbo's defense. The policy of not reimbursing victims of crime is a standard in MMOs. RuneScape, for example, does not reimburse victims of scams. In their lost items policy, RuneScape claims that their focus is on the prevention of crime, as opposed to what they call dealing with the fallout and chasing after the harm has been done. The question should therefore be whether virtual goods should be treated differently by the industry as a whole, as opposed to Habbo itself. Habbo, like RuneScape, also claims that their focus is on warning players about scams and educating players, and to their credit, there is some evidence
He's a prime sweet kitten.
As mentioned before, Habbo has a comprehensive list of scams in their help pages. The issue is, you have to dig quite a bit to actually find it. There is also a pinned news article from 2018 warning people of phishing sites. Habbo also hires ambassadors, specifically selected volunteers whose role is to help welcome new players into the community and help moderate public.
Is this one of them? DB Cooper over here?
Infobus sessions.
That's one of your
where
community
they raise
leaders?
Awareness of certain issues. One of these issues was on scams and fraud. To find out whether these sessions actually worked, I decided to attend one and was immediately greeted by a queue. Each session takes around 15 to 25 minutes and the bus has limited capacity.
Oh my god.
These restrictions created a massive line, and I begrudgingly waited for my turn. After some time, the old batch exited the bus and a new batch of people were allowed in. Only then did I learn I was person 25. The maximum capacity of the bus was 24. Needless to say, I very much wasn't amused. I was finally allowed to enter the bus, and Josh, my ambassador, immediately begins laying down the ground rules.
This is creepy. So this is like an official Habbo instructional thing for the community? You gather them here in like a fucking trailer, and you sit in a circle and Josh looks into your soul? Like, does it go one by one? Oh, this is weird. I'm trying to read their conversation. Okay.
Then proceeds to tell players not to visit random URLs given by complete strangers, a good tip. They also recommended the use of Habbo's safety lock feature, where Habbo will ask users security questions before they can fully access their account, another good tip. Josh also gives password advice, such as changing your password regularly and using lots of numbers, symbols, and capital letters.
Imagine, oh my god, I thought of a cool scam here. Imagine if one of these ambassadors decided to start scamming. So these are obviously kids that are trying to learn about how to be safe on Habbo. But imagine, so when he talks about password safety, he like kind of leads them down a path of like a password that he wants them to get to, right? So, you know, like a strong password would probably be something like your name plus a couple letters, like 1, 4, and 5. And then he could just take a list of everyone who visited his seminar and just try those kind of passwords in. Maybe get lucky on a few accounts. Josh, maybe we got something here.
Which is actually outdated advice. What should have been emphasized instead is the fact that you should use different passwords for different platforms in case one of your passwords get compromised in a data breach. And one way in which you can manage
I meant numbers,
whatever
you meant, you know what I meant, you know what I
password
meant.
manager. That could have been a perfect segue. No one offered to sponsor me, so... Anyways, the session ends, and then we are thrown into the deep end to complete a quiz before we receive a special badge which we can pin on our user profile. When asked to comment, a different ambassador who wished to stay anonymous said that they and their fellow colleagues genuinely believe that their sessions are helpful in educating users. However, they also privately expressed doubts. One of these doubts revolved around giving away free badges. While free stuff works great as an incentive for people to attend these sessions, they end up mostly attracting veteran and seasoned players, the people least likely to fall for basic scams. These players end up taking up space which would otherwise be more useful to newer players. But apart from writing a few articles and asking volunteer players to run education sessions, Habbo doesn't actually seem to be doing that much. Which begs the question, why? Why doesn't Habbo do more in tackling financial crime?
Well, like, what are they supposed to do? Hire an investigator?
We can only speculate.
No, we don't have to speculate. It's just really not worth the money.
For example, during my visit, someone hosted a fake giveaway. In this giveaway, the scammer asked people to visit this website to comment on their photo. This website is a phishing website. It's a fake website that looks just like Habbo, and it is designed to steal people's personal information. Once the scammer
not for
obtains
Habbo,
this information,
but for
they
RuneScape,
log
these
into
were
the
big.
victim's account, steal their items, and change their password so that they can no longer access
those
their
were big.
account. What makes the scam so effective, however, is account hopping. This is when a scammer uses one of these stolen accounts to set up shop. They advertise the fake giveaway under this stolen account. Once they've run the scam using that account for a few days, they move on to a new stolen account. This is what happened to Angelic. She found out that not only was her account hacked, but it was used to set up one of these fake giveaways. As for Victoria, the person pictured running the scam, her account was stolen too. But not only did she learn that her coins and furniture were stolen, she learned that her account was being hijacked to run the fraudulent giveaway. Players, none the wiser, began to spread the message through word of mouth that Victoria is a scammer, completely ruining her reputation in the process.
Oh no, Victoria.
When she tried to contact Habbo to recover her account, she received no response. Instead, Habbo decided to ban her hacked account for scamming.
Oh
the scammers
no.
were undeterred and simply moved on to a different account. But this explanation is not satisfying.
Rest in peace,
Not
Victoria.
all scams are this sophisticated. There are still many
Sunman
rudimentary and
in
basic
PP
scams
Go.
that are being done without any consequence for the
Bits
scammer.
Ranger.
Secondly, it would put the competence and effectiveness of moderation in question, if it exists at all. This brings us to our second possible explanation, the lack of moderation. The ambassador I spoke to gave harsh and scathing criticism against the state of moderation on Habbo, decrying it next to non-existent. While in my previous video I claimed that there were no moderators on Habbo, the ambassador informed me that they were told by staff that there were off-client moderators.
There's a prime
ones who
bong
would
water.
review flagged content from outside the game. These moderators don't actually log into the game, and therefore don't have a clear picture of what actually is happening. If they do exist, they are doing a terrible job, they remarked. But if this is true, this also brings with it a troubling thought. The last time that Habbo lacked moderation, this happened.
Good evening. It is every parent's terror that their internet literate child will arrive in a make-believe children's web world that is so unsafe that he or she can be propositioned for sex by a paedophile within 4 minutes.
And finally,
Whoa,
there is a
wow.
third and much more
What a
cynical
speed run,
explanation
what?
on why Habbo doesn't do that much. There simply is no
Habbo's got the
incentive.
fastest pedophiles in the
theory,
world.
a business would
And
promote customer
Joseph Stalin,
service
I
because
guess.
Good customer service would overall lead to more customers. That's why businesses tolerate even the most obnoxious of Karens. However, Habbo runs differently from other businesses.
Why is
Their
Joseph Stalin
monetization
just
model
hanging out?
revolves around the sale of virtual currency that would only be worth something to players that actually play the game.
Thanks
If
for
you
5
want to
gifts of
buy
bong
coins
water.
from
Appreciate it,
Habbo,
man.
chances are you're already deep in it.
And maybe Varus.
Going back to the paper written by the two professors, they observed that as users spend more time on Habbo, they create what is known as social capital, which basically means friendships act as their own currency. When someone stops playing Habbo, either by quitting or by being banned, they lose this social capital, in other words, their friendships. As Habbo prohibits, or tries to prohibit, people from sharing links to external communication websites like Discord, they effectively monopolize the social capital generated by their players. Or to put it in another way, the only way to meet your friends is through Habbo. What this means is that
Ghost.
the cards are effectively stacked in Habbo's favour. You can quit if you want, but if you quit, all your possessions are gone, all your creative labour is gone, and all of your social capitals, your friends, are also gone. As one player remarked, "Believe me, I know what it's like to get f***ed up by these mods. You spend money, and they don't even think for a second about your friends, money spent, etc. When there is such a large disparity of
sorry to
power
hear that,
between a
long and
company its
fat.
customers, a company no longer needs to
That was
entertain
sad.
the idea of customer satisfaction. You're going to play Habbo anyways, and Habbo knows you're going to spend more money, so why bother? If you're not convinced by this explanation, or believe it is unduly cynical, just note that when something directly threatens Habbo's financial interests,
Telefax,
the lack of
holy
moderation
shit.
becomes a non-issue. In 2017, 2 hackers made use of an exploit to generate millions of coins into their accounts. Soon, they went on a full-on shopping spree, buying tons of rare items. Their shopping spree generated a surge in demand, and soon the rares market entered into a frenzy. People bought thrones for 500 coins and resold them at 700.
Wow.
In one instance, 2 players even bought rare items with their real-life money and sold them to the hackers at marked-up prices.
Let's go.
The hackers didn't mind.
Getting wild.
After all, they could just generate more coins. Habbo caught on, and the admins quickly suspended all trade and market activity on the platform. The hackers were banned along with millions of coins, totaling up to hundreds of thousands of US dollars. If Habbo really wants to intervene, it most certainly has the capacity to do so. With Habbo currently riding the nostalgia wave of
Canadian
nothing
and a 5 gift subs MXL.
Current situation.
I want to look up that exploit. So they were able to just generate millions of Habbo coins. Let's see. Okay, let's see. Wait, what the fuck? Habbo NFTs generated $14 million in 24 hours. Yep, that sounds about right. This isn't what I was looking for. This was 2 days ago. Wow. Man, fucking, that's NFTs for you. Okay, let's see. I want to see what this glitch was. Can't really find anything on it though. Yeah, it's not worth it.
Hiding behind excuses of lack
the
of
Prime
funding
Pinota.
preparation
There's
is
some
no
Conrad.
longer acceptable, although it never was to begin with when you're making a game targeted at teenagers and children. When Habbo fails to act or appropriately respond, it is a deliberate choice made by its top management. Just to clarify, I don't blame the staff members working at Habbo. Over the course of this year, I've seen staff take a more proactive and visible approach, especially in regards to community engagement. But what they can do and what they can spend time on is ultimately decided upon by Habbo itself, and it's Habbo's failings to allocate adequate resources into tackling financial crime that have led Habbo to become complicit in it.
I wouldn't necessarily say they're complicit in the crime, it's just they don't want to spend the resources on it.
Now,
I guess you
first
could
question
argue
might
that
be,
they're
Trolligar,
complicit.
have you been
It's
scammed
fair.
before? And my response is, no, I actually haven't. Not that people haven't tried to scam me before, I've seen it all, but the fact I haven't fallen victim to one is probably due to vigilance and awareness. Now, the keen-eyed of you would have noticed that I've dedicated an entire part of this video to a personal note, and so, in response to your second question...
These are big 10 gift
yes,
subs, Macho. I appreciate
yes,
that.
I have pulled off some falling furniture and
Thank
fake
you for that,
scams
Macho.
in the past, but that didn't satisfy me. 15-year-old me wanted to do something more adventurous, so I began brainstorming for ideas. Although, if you thought this was going to be some amateurish affair, you are sorely mistaken. After doing a painstaking amount of planning, I eventually came up with a master plan, the Arrow giveaway. If you watched my previous video on capitalism on Habbo, you would know that I spent an entire section dedicated to dodgy giveaways. The reason why I know so much about them is because I ran one myself.
How
This
successful
is how
was
it
it?
worked. Firstly, a user would queue up. Once it's their go, they will pull this switch. This switch can do one of two things. The first thing it can do is move the arrow to the right, and the second thing it can
This looks
do
pretty
is
cool.
teleport you to the exit, which means you have lost the game. There is a 50-50 chance of either event happening. If
As
you're
you said,
wondering why I
turkey.
couldn't just rig the odds, I deliberately placed the wired, the mechanism to run this game, in plain sight. It was right there, and those who could understand wired could see it. If the user is lucky enough, they will reach a point where the arrow is pointing to a prize. If this happens, the user is offered two choices, risk or keep. If they say keep, they get the prize indicated on the arrow. If they say risk, they pull the switch again, with a 50% chance to win a greater prize and a 50% chance of losing everything. Now that I have a game made, next I needed to figure out a monetization model. The predominant way
Pay
of
per
monetizing
pull,
games
right?
like these is with FastPass. This is when a user pays the owner a membership fee, something like 20 coins, to get
Oh.
instant or near instant access to the game. There can be other benefits, such as a chance to win a greater prize not available to the peasants. I didn't go for this route. While it was certainly legal, albeit ethically dubious, it most certainly wasn't a sustainable route. When someone purchases FastPass, they only do it once.
Noir.
You can charge someone as high of a price as you want, 20 coins, 50 coins, 100 coins, but the goal of a FastPass purchaser is to get their money back and profit. If you give them unlimited and unfettered access to your game, they will eventually make their money back and you will begin operating at a loss. FastPass operators deal with this with a variety of solutions. One way to deal with this issue is to simply host less. If you host the game less, your FastPass customers simply have less time to win prizes, which reduces their chance of making their money back. But if you host less, you sell less FastPass.
Okay, I can check
it's
it out.
just that simple. The second solution is to pack up your bags and leave. Once you sell enough FastPasses, you stop hosting, close down the giveaway and open it under a new name, where people have to buy a new FastPass. The issue with this, however, is that this will inevitably trash your reputation. You could try and avoid this problem by moving everything to a new account and
Is it
hosting
tier
a
1
new giveaway
Alexa?
with that account. But this is way too much work for my liking. And the third solution is to make FastPasses time limited. You put an expiration date when you remove someone's FastPass. This seems like the most sustainable option, but it still falls into the pit trap where people are unlikely to pay for FastPass a second time. If your FastPass purchasers are unable to recoup their losses for the first time, they're not going to.
He really did
remove
think
their
this through.
membership. Then, one day, I visited someone else's giveaway and saw a novel innovation. Rather than charge for FastPass, they had two queues. One was the peasant queue and the other was the donators queue. How it worked was people who wanted to donate lined up in the donators queue. When they reached the front of the donators queue, they pay a coin or an item to the host. The host will then give them access to the game. The peasant and donator queues are run concurrently, but as more people are lined up in the peasant queue, the donators queue is inevitably quicker. To sweeten the deal, however, donors got a chance to win higher prizes. This was a much better monetization model. Every time someone wanted to use the donators queue, they had to donate something. This meant that the scheme was sustainable. It was effectively a pay-as-you-go model. It was also much more open to others. FastPass schemes tend to target Habo's middle class, players who are desperate to earn any coins they can, but are also in a position to splash 50 coins for a FastPass in the first place. With this system, even a person with 1 coin could join the donators queue. And also, being rather bold, it allowed me to claim that I was not running a FastPass system. So, I just nixed the idea. For further profit, I planned to sell host licenses.
This is so
For the price
fucking
of 20
thorough.
coins, you could host my game in my absence. Any payments you received, you could profit from. This also was a further positive for my scheme because it helped promote my brand name. When I opened my Arrow giveaway, I did not expect it to become an instant hit. It was so successful that in the span of 2 months I was able to afford an entire renovation of my room. It cost 200 coins and was entirely unnecessary, but it was so successful that I decided to do it.
It's a great renovation.
And if you're about to comment that 200 coins is nothing, wealth is relative. But why was it so successful? I don't actually know, but I speculate that it's because it's almost like legalized gambling. With FastPass giveaways, the goal of the FastPass purchaser is to make their money back and earn profit. With my giveaway, you're paying for a premium go at a game that is pure random chance. Many of my frequent donors actually pointed out that they get the same buzz from my giveaway as they would get from casinos and grabbers. The difference is, the latter is banned. I ensured I covered my tracks.
Like Habbo casinos or like real world casinos?
My random chance game was not gambling, because unlike gambling, where you must pay for a go, you could just line up in the peasant queue for a free go and win free prizes. And I ended up being right, because Waltz Matilda, an admin of Habbo, once visited my room and had a go at my game. They complimented me and my staff for running the giveaway and then just left us alone. So you might be wondering, I ran an ethically dubious borderline casino giveaway, but that's not illegal. So where's the criminal aspect of it? And the answer is, well, it was rigged. I told you earlier that I placed the wide in plain sight and so it was not possible for it to be rigged, but I still managed to find a way to do it anyways. To explain specifically how I did it, I'm going to need to give you some background. Wired is the redstone of Habbo. What it allows people to do is to make functions. Each wide function
This guy's
requires
fucking
an input
smart.
and an output. You can tell which is which because inputs are brown boxes and outputs are silver boxes. To make a function, you stack the two boxes together. For example, this input box checks to see whether you have double-clicked an item, like a switch. This output box, meanwhile, allows you to change the state of an item. If a door is locked, it will open, and vice versa. By stacking these two boxes together, we have created a wide function that allows us to control this door using this switch. There is also a third type of wide, conditions. If you add a condition box to your stack, your wide will only perform a function if that condition is met. For example, this condition box checks an item state. I can set it up so that you can only open a door with this switch if this light is turned on. If the light is turned off, the switch does
so
nothing.
big brain.
Now let's
I'm already
analyze
getting
the
lost.
piece of wide I showed you
Jesus
earlier.
Christ.
This input box takes an input from this switch. This
Oh,
box
so
is
deep.
called random effect. When it is placed in a wide stack, it makes it so that only one randomly chosen effect is triggered at a time. Finally, there are my two effect boxes. One is a teleport effect that will teleport you to the exit, which means you lose. The other is a move effect, which moves the arrow towards the right. As we have the random effect box, instead of having both effects happen simultaneously, only one will be randomly selected. This setup on its own is not rigged. You genuinely have a 50-50 chance on whether you move the arrow or teleport to the exit.
But I hacked the
There is one
code.
important rule in wide, however, and that is each stack of wide is its own function. But the stack does not have to be continuous. You can have an input and an output box separated by air, and the function still works. So, if we look
What?
up, you will notice an additional piece of wide I didn't talk about. That box is a condition box.
Wait, but
it will
what?
only allow this function to activate if
Oh
this
my
function-
god!
I also
I
have
feel
a
like it's the
second wide
fucking
function.
ending to the
In
Prestige.
this function, the input is the same switch. The output box is teleporting to the exit, and the function only operates when the light is off.
What a
With this setup,
twist!
I can make it so that if the light is on, the game works as normal, but if the light is off, you are 100% guaranteed to teleport to the exit. I can flick the light to set the game so that it is either in normal mode or rigged mode.
Oh
Now,
my
if you noticed
god!
something, you will realize that when the game is in a normal unrigged state, the wide boxes activate and play a small animation. When the game is in a rigged state, those wide boxes are not activated, and so they don't play this animation. So to create the illusion that the wide boxes are activated, I simply created another wide function. The input is the switch, and the output is this, which allows me to change the state of an item. I showed you previously that it can open doors, but it can also turn on lights, do this, and most importantly, trigger the animation effect. Only the owner and those with rights given by the owner can look inside of these wide boxes. So
Even if I could look in them, I wouldn't understand them. This is so deep.
Is if it looks legit.
This is actual just
I deliberately
engineering.
placed my wide set up, or some of it, in the public view to give the perception that I was fully transparent. I went through all of that trouble just to make my game look authentic, more real than the other
Okay,
games.
but then I don't know if he's about to address this. But if the secret really was just zooming out far enough to be able to click the light into a rig state, couldn't any one of the players just zoom way out and see that? Or am I missing like a crucial piece? Because anyone could have done that. Like, I'm sure there's some player out there that plays in like turbo zoom out mode that could have seen the floating stuff. So you can only zoom it out that far if you're the owner? Okay. Thanks to Prime Will Cloud. Thank you for that, Moose. Sorry, I got so into the video, I didn't even see the 10. Thank you for the big 10. Yeah, we were learning about those earlier, Telefax. Okay.
That were actually legit, as placing wide in public view is not standard practice. People could see the wide churning away every time a user clicked the switch. No one would have suspected that there was a piece of wide up in the sky. but just in case, I put a present up there to obscure the view.
I should just let it ride for one more second.
I could have made my giveaway completely legit. The way I set up the game meant the odds were in my favour to begin with. Statistically, over time, this was a profitable business venture, but this still didn't give me enough control of the game. I wanted to be able to control specifically what prizes I was going to be giving out.
Oh, so oh my god, I see.
Harder to obtain, there will still always be a chance that someone actually wins it, and that means you'll always have to be prepared to pay.
Thanks for 5 gift subs, Alexa.
And I wasn't willing to do that.
Thanks for some
I decided to tell my story because I wanted to show that the ultra-consumerist environment, where your social standing is defined by the coins in your wallet, the furniture and rares in your possession, and your membership of a premium club, creates an extraordinary and insatiable demand for coins.
I appreciate it, Alexa.
Teenagers, being the perfect demographic to psychologically manipulate, they are the ones that are willing to do extraordinary things to get virtual currency. I personally ran my criminal enterprise with no nefarious intent to make real-life money. I just wanted furniture so I could furnish my rooms and make cool things, something that Habbo has decided to lock behind a paywall because it's their monetization model. But the environment that Habbo crafted led 15-year-old me to become obsessed with these virtual coins, and I ended up concocting a ridiculously over-the-top conspiracy to obtain it.
Yeah, it's genius.
I spent too long planning meticulously every detail, from monetization to how
he's
I
like
was
an
going to
anime
wiggle
villain
without getting caught, to how I would present myself as the real deal. What I did was not some large-scale hacking operation or setting up a phishing site, but at the end of the day, what I did was still wrong, even if it was comparatively minor. And it's something I genuinely regret doing, and something I've never done since.
Oh, you coward. Be proud of the scam. Though maybe like he scammed someone so hard that they like really got sad.
This is a simple
or
truth.
formed a gambling
what
addiction.
Habbo has shown is that players will find new and innovative ways of defrauding others, no matter how the game progresses. However, the current industry of MMOs do not respect the rights of virtual property that people possess, despite the fact that they are materially worth something. Maybe this is for the better. After all, if every MMO had to legally reimburse victims of financial crime, they would be inundated with a flood of requests, including by those willing to exploit that very system. But maybe there should be a re-evaluation. Players spend real-life money on obtaining these virtual currencies and goods, and these items end up having lots of sentimental value attached to them. If we believe that virtual items should be afforded the same rights and protections as ordinary property, we should expect to reform the law, as opposed to waiting for the entrenched industry to regulate itself. As for Habbo more specifically, more needs to be urgently done. If Habbo insists that prevention is better than cure, it needs to make sure that its preventative measures are actually working. Hiring a bunch of volunteers to run occasional bus sessions is not enough. Penning a news article warning about phishing scams is also not enough, because at the end of the day, if people can still flagrantly host fake giveaways advertising dangerous external links, people are going to fall for it. There needs to be in-game moderation shutting down these blatant scams, and there needs to be a more concerted effort into rooting out these scammers. Having a visible and vigorous approach to tackling financial crime will go some way to deterring future attempts by enterprising players. As for my own story, I still have regrets. Some of the coins and furniture that I have in my possession were illicitly gained.
Yeah, they were.
All of them, though. But I decided that the only way to repent for my sins was to give it all away.
No! What?
I will admit it was extremely difficult to do. I was attached to my coins and my furniture, which I've earned over the past few years. My Wired collection and my prized
he really
furniture
felt bad.
has sentimental value to me. But I decided to do it anyways, and there was no turning back. It was certainly gratifying, however, to make someone's day.
Thanks for resub Maddox and Belly.
Thank you so much for watching, and I hope you have a nice day.
This was such a fucking interesting rabbit hole. Oh my god. This was so good. Thanks for resub KQP. Man. The only way to wind down after that is to watch some slapping. Let's go to Slap Mountain, baby. I'm coming home.
Just over the next hill.
Let's go over that hill.
Path, you'll find Big Wayne's compound. A secluded mountaintop spot that plays host to the craziest bunch of thrill-seeking hillbillies you ever saw. You won't find it on the map. It's easy to miss. But if you get an invite, take them up on it. But BYOB, and bring a lawn chair. There's lots to see, including the most bizarre slap fighting league around.
I appreciate it, Jelly, and I didn't really like it. I wasn't a fan of Far Cry 6.
So hop in the truck, y'all, because we're headed out to Slap Mountain.
Let's fucking go. Miller Lite in the back, sister in the passenger seat,
Mr.
baby.
Crystal
Let's
entered
ride.
The Slap Mountain Championship tournament last summer and had every intention of bringing the belt back home with him to North Carolina. That is until he ran into a 5'9", 350-pound mountain man in the hardcore hillbilly. Mr. Crystal and the hillbilly went to war during quarterfinals, trading meat hooks for several rounds before the hillbilly found his target and eliminated Mr. Crystal from title contention. Dejected, Crystal left Slap Mountain in defeat, but not before insulting and offending nearly everyone in attendance.
Oh, come on, Mr. Crystal.
Veteran Big James Mayhem and the Mayhem family. Quite possibly the straightest family tree on the mountain.
Big James, I don't care how big your damn hands are. If I go to the second round, I'm slapping the piss out of you too. And that, my friend,
This is so wholesome.
The outspoken Crystal had harsh words for Big James and disrespected him continuously throughout the tournament, along with nearly every staff member, including the official, who just happened to be Big James Mayhem in disguise. Furious,
it is a pretty good disguise.
The Mayhems, the
it's like Clark Kent.
You
just put on some glasses.
Mr. Crystal, but it just wasn't enough. That's when Big James realized what had to be done.
Does Big James fight him?
Hello, folks,
oh, let's go.
Welcome to Slap Mountain. My name is JT Tilley, and today we have a Slap Mountain grudge match.
I'm fucking ready.
Mr. Crystal and the son of Big James, JD Mayhem.
Wait, the son?
Who has come to settle the score and put an end to the
is this
disrespect
JD
toward
Mayhem?
his father. And here he comes, folks. It's JD Mayhem.
Oh, I see. Okay. Welcome, JD.
JD is the youngest of the Mayhem clan, leaping into the ring and preparing to
oh, he looks ready.
Family name.
About to fucking slap his scalp off.
JD is joined in the ring this afternoon by his father, Big James Mayhem. Big James is scheduled to face a 400-pound opponent later this afternoon. JD inserting his cotton. He has an interesting approach with his cotton balls. He likes to be.
Who keeps asking who's James? You're the fucking host of this event, Cream Pie. You know, you should know who James is.
Balls are securely in place. We can continue. If you look down at ringside, you might notice legendary Slap Mountain pioneer Randall Randleman. Big James brought him in to help prepare the men for their fights.
Randall's here.
Clearly see
what
the
fuck?
Hard work that they've been putting in.
Let's go, Randall.
Randleman won the original Slap Mountain tournament back in 2012, dealing out a series of brutal knockouts using his patented
Randleman.
That was nearly a decade ago, and he still wears the belt.
Oh, this is him. Randall.
Our next contestant is stepping out of the tree line now, escorted to the ring by legendary Slap Mountain competitor Superstar Kenneth. It's Mr. Crystal.
Welcome back, Mr. Crystal.
Mr. Crystal has become somewhat of an internet celebrity since the premiere.
Healed from the concussion, that's good.
We've received thousands of messages and requests for Mr. Crystal, who seems to have an undeniable appeal to female slap fans. Mr. Crystal always has something to say to the camera. And now he's stepping around the outside of the ring and preparing to enter the competition area.
Omnibus.
Stepping up onto the platform. Stepping up onto the platform. That's our sign that it's time to get this fight
It's buttered up like Ed, and Eddie.
Let's
you just slipped a little bit on it.
Our ring announcer, Little Bobby Gomez.
The first opponent. I think Mr. Crystal's gonna have standing to the left of me. You guys, to the right, you guys. JD Mayhem.
JD
Mayhem with a look of intensity on his face.
Captain America.
Mr. Crystal.
And as
Mr. Crystal's he's a bad man. That's a bad boy. Ass crack out.
out the game.
Palms ready.
But whoever knocks out first is the loser, and whoever's remaining standing is the winner.
Our lead official this afternoon will be Brad, unfortunately. Brad's going to explain the rules to our competitors, and as you've heard, this match is scheduled for 20 rounds with a 90-second break between each round. Now, the rules at Slap Mountain are a bit of a mystery, but the best I can figure, no punching and no kicking.
Okay.
Apparently no
Makes
strikes
sense.
to the forehead and nothing underneath the chin. Thanks, Brad. All right, Mr. Crystal's going to call the coin
Thanks,
toss here.
Risa. Please.
He calls heads, and it's tails. That means
Risa
JD
Chelto.
Mayhem will have the first slap. So we're going to start this match with a half-hearted handshake.
Oh, Jesus,
And then a
JD.
karate chop to the neck by JD.
Let's slow down. We need to adjust the targeting parameters
There's
here.
no denying
Gotta
that was an
calibrate.
illegal strike, so they're going to give him a penalty.
He didn't even try.
Now JD Mayhem has what's called a one penalty.
Mr. Crystal's got some meat on him.
Mr. Crystal's first slap.
Don't be afraid, JD. Embrace it. Oh,
Nice slap by Mr. Crystal.
damn.
Holy smokes.
Not bad.
You could tell by the look on his face that JD was shocked by the power in that slap. And now
Oh, I
we have a
thought you
90-second
was
break.
handing him some beer. Can someone get my man some
Crystal's
beer?
quite a charismatic character. He's actually
Maybe a
become
cheeseburger?
very, very popular over the course of the last few months. Women love this guy. Matter of fact, we'd like to request that women stop contacting our social media
I do not
accounts
have
for
one, Ron.
Slap Mountain, our Instagram, our TikTok, our Twitter. So many messages asking about Mr. Crystal. The answer is Mr. Crystal is in a happy, committed relationship with his live-in girlfriend, Tammy, of 2 years. And I've actually met Tammy the last time I was here. She's a really nice girl. Oh, Mr. Crystal.
Hey, whoa.
Mayhem gets a
We were just,
bird
it was
right
wholesome until Mr. Crystal needs to be fucking stopped. Put him down, JD.
Mr. Crystal at all, and you cannot blame him after all of the disrespect toward his family. Okay, here we are with the beginning of round 2.
Do this one for the entire Mayhem family
JD's
tree.
gonna haul off here. Okay. That wasn't a good slap at all.
JD.
The one thing I can say
My
about
man.
that slap is that it was illegal.
JD.
And it looks like the officials are going to call
Parents
another
slap
penalty
their
here.
children
JD
harder
is
when they're
now at a
disappointed in
2
their
penalty.
grades. Come on, JD.
Okay, and another fantastic slap here by Mr. Crystal.
And now lower than that.
Mayhem claims that that's an illegal strike.
Thanks for your sub, Colt.
All right, Kevin Cream Pie
Oh, I bet
Oberlin
that's
and
great,
our
Maximum.
referee Brad are going to decide here if that was a clean shot or not.
It was like on the boundary. JD, man. Yeah.
Okay, that's been determined to be a legal strike. That's a clean strike. So here we are with another 90-second break.
Man, Mr. Crystal's really hydrating. Oh, never mind.
Mr. Crystal, no penalties.
He just likes the feeling of the water.
Mr. Crystal has some genetic gifts that have helped him to refine his slapping skills over the years. If you look closely, Mr. Crystal has actually got 2 sets of hips, so he's able to generate 2 times the power as a normally constructed man. Now, JD Mayhem has some genetic gifts as well. I think he's got an extra toe. All right, here we are with the beginning of round 3.
Alright, JD, round 3 is where we really do our best work.
JD hauls off.
Oh, there it
Using the
is.
helicopter technique.
Yeah, that was like the full, like, eagle.
Okay, that was another
Like the
illegal
Freedom
strike
Eagle
by
slap.
JD Mayhem. I'm starting to feel like JD doesn't care about whether or not these strikes are legal.
Thanks to the Prime, Victor. Give some Bubba.
Okay, it looks like JD Mayhem is now going to be at a 3 penalty.
Does
That's
that-
a 3 penalty for JD
Yeah, does that
Mayhem.
mean anything, though?
If he does reach a 5 penalty, he will be disqualified, and Mr. Crystal will win
Oh,
the
what the
match.
fuck? No, JD, we gotta buckle that down.
3-0.
Okay, 3-0. I believe that probably means 3 penalties to no penalties. All right, Mr. Crystal. Right on the
Oh,
money
man,
again.
Mr. Crystal is running away with
Solid
it.
techniques this afternoon.
Come on, JD, don't let him win this.
Okay, I'm getting a message from Tammy, Mr. Crystal's live-in girlfriend. She's actually sent me a video file here, and she's asking if I will play it.
I always love the lore
I'm
here.
going to go ahead and play it during the break here.
Slap Mountain, it's become notorious for just...
Hey,
Oh, God.
all you boys
boys and girls and YouTubers out there. I just want to tell you that
I don't know about the Confederate.
and
I don't know about that Confederate flag there.
me and him's dating, and I just want you to please stop bugging him. He told me that he only loves me and only me. Just please leave my man alone. He doesn't want to be bugged. He's my baby, my love, and only my love. And if you can't believe this, then you don't need to believe it at all. Just leave him alone.
Okay.
When you're right, you're right. If you can't believe it, then you don't believe it at all.
Crystal suddenly has a lot of concerns about JD Mayhem's
Tammy was
slapping
right
technique.
there.
JD's been throwing out a lot of illegal strikes, and I'm starting to think that maybe it could be on purpose.
You'll get no argument from me.
Mr. Crystal is now being very particular about the placement of the slaps, and I'm not so sure that JD or James Mayhem really care too much. Nope, another illegal strike to the ear. That's going to be a 4th penalty for JD.
JD, we need to take
JD
this
is
more
really having a tough
seriously.
time finding his target, and because of the genetics,
He like
sometimes
throws
it's a
them in
little bit
slow
difficult
motion.
to tell where the chin stops and the cheeks and the forehead begin on Mr. Crystal.
All right, he's able to take it pretty
Doesn't
well.
look too bad. Another solid shot.
Easy 2 on Mr. Suck. And there he said Jad.
Okay, the officials are discussing whether to charge Mr. Crystal with a penalty or not, and the crowd is very vocal about this.
You're right, it was only...
Okay, we've got a heated conversation going on in the ring, and it looks like there will be no penalty for Mr. Crystal. JD Mayhem is not pleased. Neither is the crowd. Okay,
Well,
so
I don't think
as
there's a
it
chance
stands,
JD wins this.
we've
He's about to
got
pick up his
JD
5th
Mayhem
penalty.
sitting at a 4 penalty, and Mr. Crystal with no penalties.
It has been a pretty wild one, Ranch.
Oh, and now JD is raging out in the middle of the ring. This is not good.
He's getting hype.
There's clearly a lot of built-up
What is
resentment here.
what are we doing with cream pie over here?
Okay, wait. Now JD is screaming at the fans in the audience. I just got another video message from Tammy.
Please back off.
Why does this keep happening?
And leave my baby alone.
What's going on here, Kevin? What are you doing?
Yeah, what the fuck is going on here?
Don't like it when people hits on my baby, my man, my love.
All right, JD back in the mega mix.
Round 5 is underway. JD Mayhem hauling off.
Come on, JD.
And he slaps Mr. Crystal in the neck again.
JD!
That might just do it for this match. That
God,
could be a 5
Jesus
penalty
Christ.
for JD. It did look like a penalty.
Sorry. All right, you are ready. Go ahead.
Okay, doesn't seem like Brad's going to call this one, and I'm not sure.
All right,
why.
good. We're making another round. That's good. Oh, God.
Oh, a big shot from Mr. Crystal. Okay, JD does not seem phased.
Okay, he's in good spirits.
But he has not left this table one time during the match, and Mr. Crystal
He's
keeps
probably
milking
guilty.
every one of these breaks. I think he's trying to keep from getting continuously clubbed by JD Mayhem. Mr. Crystal's
Thanks a
getting
bit,
some
Trey.
advice from the legend superstar Kenneth, but I'm not really sure what you can do here. The Mayhems don't really seem to care too much about winning the match. They really just seem to want to continue punishing Mr. Crystal. And with Brad not calling
True.
that penalty on JD, this match is going to continue.
Just don't call any penalties, Brad. Have
20 rounds,
mercy.
and that puts Mr. Crystal in a horrible position here.
What is that, a bag of Coke?
I'm pretty sure his face is really swollen, but how would you know?
Shouldn't be allowed. Let's go.
Okay, here we are with round 6. JD Mayhem. Using
Whoa!
100%.
Jesus
without a doubt,
Christ.
That was an illegal strike. Let's see if Brad calls it.
He did the helicopter.
Below the neck.
I thought that was fine. I mean, I think that's legal.
At the eyebrow, but the majority of the hand was right in the strike zone. So,
I agree with Brad.
Come on now. Y'all can't
Okay, so Brad has decided no penalty. This fight will continue. Round 6.
Thanks, Brad. Oh,
and another
Lord.
fantastic slap by Mr. Crystal. That was probably his best slap of this fight so far.
Yeah, he's getting
There is
stronger.
No doubt that JD felt that.
How many water bottles has he
Now I can
drank?
see where the crowd
Like his
is starting to
20th
turn
water
on
bottle.
Mayhem just a little bit here. Unbelievable. Mr.
He doesn't even drink it. He
Crystal
just
turning
fucking.
this around.
He just
Here's
swishes
Tammy.
it and spits.
Leave my man alone.
Jesus Christ, Tammy! Fuck.
If you can do it, I'll thank you, and I'll appreciate it. If you can't,
What'll happen?
then you're not well worth it.
Alright, well, we don't need to go that far.
But I just want you to know one thing. Leave my man alone.
Yeah, that's fair enough.
Round 7.
Thanks,
Will
Resub
JD
Neptune.
Mayhem
Get some
continue
tricky.
dropping bombs on
It's pretty
Mr.
wild
Crystal?
eating. JD! Oh!
Yes! Another devastating blow.
JD's turning it up.
That one was so wild that it actually hit him in the back of the head. And again, no penalty from Brad.
I agree. No
Oh my
penalty.
gosh.
That was a legal hit. We let it ride.
Here we go with round 7 for Mr. Crystal. Great
Oh!
shot. Oh! JD Mayhem shoots his cotton ball out at Mr. Crystal in response. Wow. Dad picks up JD's nostril cotton. JD immediately shoves it in his ear. Oh, Mr. Crystal resorting to insults. He's calling JD Mayhem.
Alright, what round are we in? The 100th round, where are we at?
7 brutal, illegal shots to the
shit.
head, and it doesn't seem like he's got the power to hurt JD Mayhem. So this is not a great situation to be in.
JD's about to put him to bed in this one, I
He's
feel
asking
it.
Superstar Kenneth for more advice.
Where's Randall
Going
Randallson?
on with the right hand of Mr. Crystal. I feel like maybe he's
Maybe
looking for a
Prime
way
Day?
out of this fight. Okay, he's talking to Cream Pie Okerlund now about his right hand.
Why are you talking to Cream Pie Okerlund? He's not a doctor.
I think Mr. Crystal's
I don't even know what he's
looking for a way
doing here. He
out
just kind of
off the
hangs
count.
out.
This
He's
fight
not a
could
medical
be over,
professional. He's
folks.
just fucking Cream Pie Okerlund.
There's something wrong with the right hand of Mr. Crystal. That's it. This fight's over, folks. We've
What?
got a winner. Your winner's going to be JD Mayhem. And I can see here Mr. Crystal's actually starting to get a little bit emotional here, talking to Cream Pie. And that's the end
Why
of
did
it.
that
He's
happen?
going to shake his hand with that right hand. JD Mayhem.
What is going on? His hand
All of the
hurts?
disrespect. And now they're going to go ahead and give each other a hug.
Did he hide
Pat
razor
the back
blades
with
on his
that
face or
same
something?
right
Why is his hand hurt?
And again for his father.
He wasn't slapping that
I
hard.
sure would like to get a look at that hand, actually. Okay, there it is. It doesn't seem like there's anything wrong. It just looks like a regular little baby hand. Well, friends, there you have it. After 7 crazy rounds of competition, Mr. Crystal surrenders, and the Mayhem family walks away with
Well, the
bragging rights
Mayhems
and
are
a
doing
hard-fought
great, to
victory.
be honest.
Congratulations
Mayhems have a
to
pretty good
JD
record.
Mayhem on a successful defense of his family's honor and on a beautiful display of dexterity and strategery.
Oh,
Don't
fuck.
forget
That
to
was a
like
great
and
episode.
subscribe, ring the bell for notifications, and be on the lookout for more big announcements from Slap Fight Championship. My name is JT Tilley.
I think Mr. Crystal threw the
We will
better
see you next
slaps.
time.
And
on
he's being a
Slap
good sport
Mountain.
about it. I think Mr. Crystal definitely threw the better slaps. JD just had more endurance. I don't really know what happened to his hand here. I was expecting he'd be like bruised or something. Or maybe like his wrist hurt from the slaps, but he's like saying it's his hand. And it seems like a pretty normal, but yeah. I'm not sure why he forfeited. I mean, they were like 9 rounds deep. Oh, fuck. I seen the second one there, Miju. Oh, man. Fuck. The refs were paid off. JD should have been out 7 slaps ago. I'm glad they let it ride. I think at Slap Mountain, the only time it should end is when someone gives up. I don't like the 5 penalty and you're out rule anyway. Moist Meter New World? Nah, man, I didn't play enough. Personally, I think there should be no penalties on Slap Mountain. Yeah, I agree. I really do. I'm going to bed. That was fucking great. From the Habbo Hotel rabbit hole right into one of the best episodes of Slap Mountain we've seen. That was fucking great. All right, everyone. Thanks for tuning in. To everyone who donated, big thank you. New subs, welcome aboard. The sub means a lot, so thank you for subbing. I really appreciate the generosity. I hope you all have a wonderful rest of your evening. I will throw you to... I'll throw you to Caleb. Him and Rex are grinding the group Ironman. I'll be hopping on tomorrow. So I'll toss you over there. Caleb's at the warehouse. I don't know if Rex is streaming from the warehouse, but Caleb is. Alright, everyone. Thanks again, and I will... Actually, yeah, I tossed you to Rex last time, so yeah, I'll toss you to Caleb. Thanks again, everyone. I will see you tomorrow. See ya.